Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we will be heading out to Houston, Texas for Plantcon 2025. This footage is day one, part one, and I will have several parts for this Plantcon today. As you can see right here, I am leaving Houston late afternoon on Friday to head out to Houston, Texas for Plantcon 2025. It is from May 31st to June 1st. So I wanted to get there a little bit early. That way I could actually get in and film a lot of the vendors and plants. You can see it is the next day. As always, plant foldies, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video, as well as give me a follow on Instagram at GrowFold. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. And after a long drive from North Dallas to Houston, you can see that we are about to make it out to Houston, Texas. It was definitely worth the trip. I always love covering plant cons because a lot of people may not always be able to make it to such an amazing plant show. And you know, with Plantcon, I've been able to make it out to the Houston one last year, Dallas, and earlier this year, Orlando, Florida. I do plan to be in Dallas Plantcon since it is my stomping grounds, Dallas, Texas, as well as New York City. So we will see how that all pans out, but you can see it is a long journey to get out to Houston from North Dallas. It is a good 4.5 hour drive, but it is definitely worth it because I wanted to make sure that I could take you alongside with me whenever I go to plant cons like this. You can see I just made it super early. I arrived around 6:30 a.m. as one of the helpers for one of the booths out here for Peta's planters. So you can see that it is in the NRG Convention Center, and I love this center because it does have a lot of space, and you can see even Costa Farms is at Plantcon 2025 in terms of just being, I believe, one of the sponsors. So it is early morning. You can see that the sun is not quite out yet, but I like to be able to film a lot of the vendors before the general public makes it.
Hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Love Plants.
And I am Richie from Grow Folds, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you going to do? You're going to share the video.
You have
what
to.
you're
You
gonna
have to today. All right, guys.
Today.
We'll see you on the next one.
do. All right.
Super exciting is my co-host from Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast, Janae Simone, and Steven of I Live Plants was able to actually make it together to Plantcon. They arrived a little bit later, but I did want to just walk around here and give you a pan around view of all of the vendors before the madness happened. So general admission actually let in at 10 a.m. and I was glad that I was able to get a lot of the content out there before the general public made it. And I would just say the lines were super long, but they moved very quickly as well. So kudos to the Plantcon team and all of the sponsors, the vendors, as well as the staff and volunteers for making this huge event. They had over 200 plus vendors. So you can see that this footage that I am taking to show you Plantcon Houston was taken around 7:30 a.m. and hopefully you are seeing some amazing vendors already. In the next 3 hours at 10 a.m. this place was packed shoulder to shoulder. It was really busy, and so I am thankful to Peta's planters specifically for having me out here to help her at her booth and to be able to film this and showcase the beauty of Plantcon. I mean, you can see all of these gorgeous plants, and then I'm going to go ahead and feature some of these plants, specifically some of these vendors. Now I was not able to get every single vendor, So I wanted to put that out there as I cover Plantcon 2025. And the reason being is that there were so many vendors, but very little time for me. I wasn't able to go back on Sunday, and I had to leave around 3 p.m. when I went to Plantcon to head back to Dallas because I did have work. But as you can see right here, the setup is here, and we already have some people just walking around and really enjoying the plant. So I'm gonna go ahead and just continue to walk around, and then I will feature some of the vendors that I have specifically seen at Plantcon several times, and to me it's just super exciting. But you know, with Plantcon there is a diversity of different types of plants versus just the tropical aroids. We have succulents and cactus, we've got bonsai, we've got a lot of interesting plants, and obviously Plantstop US, that's where I ended up doing my pickup for my plants from overseas. So super excited for that. You'll see my Plantcon haul video the next day, but as you can see right here, plant foldies, those were just freshly imported. And then we have some more plants right over here, some desert rose, a huge fan of that. And let's go ahead and just keep walking around. Right here is Raíces Plant Shop. Really love this plant shop based out in Houston, Texas. Super sweet couple. Please follow Raíces Plant Shop on Instagram. So you already know, as I feature a lot of these vendors, I want to make sure that we are promoting them, creating awareness of their beautiful plant shops. So please follow Raíces Plant Shop. You can see they've got so many beautiful plants, and what I appreciate about this particular booth is their plants have some beautiful leaf shine. They're super clean, and the presentation is immaculate. So love it. Raíces Plant Shop, they were able to get me some plants when I went to the Texas Aroid Show last year. My grandmother really enjoyed their plants, and you'll see that they have a plethora of different types of monstera, philodendron, and just lots of other plants here. They do have, I believe, a storefront based out in Houston, and you can see that they have some pitcher plants as well, some carnivorous plants. So lots of interesting things. But one of my favorite vendors is Prop and Grow. Please follow Prop and Grow on Instagram, because look at this. They have a huge booth front and center, and this is a Florida-based family-owned business that I have seen throughout the year. Last year, I've seen Prop and Grow at Plantcon Houston, Plantcon Dallas, Plantcon Orlando earlier this year, and I'm so thankful that they brought Aglaonema. Look at this Aglaonema white glaxap. I regret not getting that particular Aglaonema, and when I was speaking to the owner, shout out to you guys, love y'all. They specifically brought Aglaonema because they thought of me, and so again, really appreciate Prop and Grow for joining my campaign to hashtag popularize Aglaonema. So throughout this video, as much as I want to feature all of these other rare philodendron, variegated alocasias, all of that, you already know throughout this video I will be showing you the Aglaonema. I believe that, you know, talking about a specific plant, creating that awareness is really going to get more people excited. But as far as Prop and Grow Nursery, they've just got so many beautiful plants. And look at this, they're bringing in the heat variegated philodendron jopii, or Yopii, however you want to pronounce it. This is one of the stunners, one of the more unicorn plants that you will find at Plantcon. And that's the thing about Plantcon. If you are looking for your wish list plants, if you're looking for plants that you will only see on Instagram or maybe from overseas, you've got to go to Plantcon. It is definitely worth the price for the tickets. Now, if you ask me, if you really want to get access to a lot of the rare or uncommon plants, I would recommend investing in purchasing the early access tickets. And the reason being is, as you can see right here, I am already here early in the morning, and I'm able to take my time to look at the plants. If you are just a fan of these rare and uncommon plants, go ahead and buy the the early access tickets, it's definitely worth it. Not to say that the general admission isn't, but that way you don't have to fight the crowds and you're able to really get early access to all of these rare plants. But as you can see right here, Prop and Grow has a lot of different types of plants, whether it is common, easy care plants, unicorn plants, rare plants, they've got it all. One of the best plant vendors ever. And I would even say in terms of just the people behind this, this nursery, they are such amazing people, very humble people, very communicative, and just people that you know have a passion for plants. And I think that that is where we need to celebrate the vendors at Plantcon. It's not always just about the plants. It is the hard work and effort for these people to travel, say, for instance, Prop and Grow all the way from Florida to get all of these gorgeous plants for us to have access and admire. I think it is amazing. And so for those that watch my Plantcon video, please make sure you guys are sharing your love, the positivity, all the good vibes on their socials, and really I'm showing that appreciation because I appreciate them. You know, I appreciate them. Prop and Grow, spend all your money. They can ship as well. So if you are wanting to get plants from them, please send them a direct message on Instagram, follow them. But let me just continue to walk around and just show you their booth. As you can see, plant foldies, this is the reason why Prop and Grow as a seller at Plantcon is one of the premier sellers, or at least in my personal opinion, because they do bring so many gorgeous plants. And can you believe they drove all the way down from Florida to Houston, Texas? That way they can offer us some of these amazing plants. Hopefully you guys will check them out on Instagram. Please follow Prop and Grow, buy plants from them because they are able to ship. And you know, again, I just can't help just admire that they are bringing some stunners here. You already know that I'm going to be featuring some of the plants like the Aglaonema, for instance, that they have, but they have a wide variety of plants. Take a look at this Alocasia Venom. Now this one is a unicorn plant for $850. So, you know, if you are one of these people that are looking for a larger form of an Alocasia Venom, I mean, take a look at this stunner right here, only at Prop and Grow Plant Shop. What an amazing specimen here. And that's the thing about taking the time to actually go to Plantcon. You know, it is a plant show that is really growing at a rapid pace, and I think a lot of it has to do with just the awareness of the plant community. So many people are actually flying into Plantcon. So again, you know, kudos to the Plantcon staff, to Kenny and the team for just making this available. I mean, you can see over here, Prop and Grow has Alocasias, they've got succulents, they've got pretty much everything. And I am just very fortunate that I was able to freely maximize the downtime before the crazy rush came in, because as soon as the doors opened, all of these plants were flying off the shelves. You can see over here, beautiful caladium. And that's the thing that I like about Prop and Grow, is that not only do they have very rare and unicorn plants, they have some other plants that are easy care, more affordable, budget friendly. And I just truly hope to see them continue to grow. I mean, you can see right here, because we are trying to hashtag popularize Aglaonema. I am so thankful to Eddie and Prop and Grow for just thinking of me bringing these Aglaonema. And you know what? I'm going to say this, especially for those that are probably discovering this YouTube channel of mine. I am a huge fan of Aglaonemas. Look at this Aglaonema right here, for instance. They're just colorful plants. They are easy to care for plants. They are plants that are just not readily talked about, much less really sought after. But you know what? After just having conversations with a lot of the vendors at Plantcon, I do see more and more vendors, such as Prop and Grow, for instance, carrying some Aglaonema. And then you can even see here, this one is an Aglaonema that's super rare, Aglaonema flying squid. Now this one is for $185. It is a super rare Aglaonema, and you can see that it's got some funky mutated leaves. It is the flying squid. So I just interesting how some of these plants get these names. But either way, I just love the fact that they do have these Aglaonema. I regret not buying this Aglaonema Sundrop, or was it white? Let me just pick this up real quick. Let me see, Aglaonema Sundrop, because this is only for $45. But look at how established the plant is in this. I love how it has that white variegation on the leaves, and for $45, that is a really good price. And then you can see right here, they've got some variegated monsteras. This is a monstera mint, and you know, this is another monstera that is starting to go down in price. I would say about a year or two ago, it was still quite pricey. And then they also have some large Diphymbachias right over here. So as far as Prop and Grow, they do have the rare and uncommon plants. They've got the unicorn plants, but then they also have plants that are a little bit more budget friendly and affordable. So if you do go to Plantcon, you will find some plants that are super pricey, but then if you go to a booth like Prop and Grow, you will find some cost-effective plants, ones that are going to be more budget friendly. But then again, if you're an avid collector, you have to go to Prop and Grow. They also have string of turtles. They've just got so many plants. And you know, for me, following Prop and Grow on Instagram, I just love seeing their posts. I love the engagement that they have with their followers, and they really do listen to feedback. They just bring so many varieties of plants, and I just love that they maximize the space. On a larger scale, they continue to just bring all of these plants, and you know, I am just super impressed that they were able to haul all of these plants. So if you ever make it to another plant show, whether it's Plantcon or another show, and Prop and Grow there, please buy all the plants. Buy all the plants, because they are super healthy. They've got a huge selection of plants, and it's always nice to support local small businesses, family businesses, because that is where it's at. And, you know, as far as Plantcon, that's why it's super important for me to do this long format content and just to talk about my personal experiences with these vendors, because I truly believe that Plantcon wouldn't be possible without the vendors. And a lot of it has to do with just the awareness we know about the vendors. They place a lot of work into growing the plants, transferring them, making sure that these plants are presentable, and just the setup itself. You know, all of these vendors had to be set up, I think, the previous day. And I mean, I just love the setup that they have at Prop and Grow. Super inviting. And like I said again, they just have a massive selection of plants. Like this Alocasia scalprum. This one is for $25. Really good, cost-effective, budget-friendly price for such a beautiful plant. Look at how shiny the leaves are. This one is an Alocasia that's actually endemic to my home country, which is the Philippines. You already know I have to say that I am a proud Filipino American. And what better way to end Asian American Pacific Islander Month and to celebrate our heritage. And there were a lot of Filipino Americans out there, lots of Filipino American businesses and vendors. So I will touch base on that throughout the video. But you can see that they even have like hanging baskets of Epipremnum aureum Snow Queen Pothos. They've got all of these starter plants. They've got it all. I can talk on and on about prop and grow. So I definitely wanted to start the vendors with prop and grow today. You can see Syngonium Green Splash for $55. So if you are a Syngonium fan, they also have a wide selection of Syngoniums. All of these plants that you see, you can send them a direct message on Instagram. So if you're interested in purchasing plants, they are able to ship nationwide. Definitely let them know you are a plant foldie. I want them to know that we are going to be supporting their business. Like this is one that that Aglaonema that I saw. So this is the one Aglaonema that got away from me. I should have bought the Aglaonema Sweet Candy because look at this beautiful pink Aglaonema and it's only $36. $36 for already an acclimated, established Aglaonema. I need this in my life. I'm probably going to send them a direct message. I need them to source this out because look at how beautiful this is. The Aglaonema Sweet Candy, beautiful pink foliage, has got rounder leaves, and this is another Aglaonema that is priced very well. You know, if you're finding Aglaonemas within the $20 to $30 range, that is a really good price. And I need anybody that is actually watching the Plantcon videos today to, number one, use the hashtag popularize Aglaonema and make sure that we are open to collecting them. But this is a beautiful setup. Kudos to the prop and grow vendors. You guys are amazing, and I will see you on the next Plantcon exhibition because they're always going to be there. And Prop and Grow is one of the vendors that I actively seek whenever there are plant shows. And you can see right over here that it was early in the morning, 7:30 a.m. So you guys already know I am working hard to try to get you guys this Plantcon footage. So if you already haven't hit the like button, the thumbs up button, can you go ahead and do that, please? Because I would really love to be able to push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. I would also ask if there are people with social media that want to share this video on Facebook, Instagram, your friends that have never seen Plantcon. My long format content will really just showcase a lot of the vendors. I do feel that I wasn't able to showcase all the vendors because there was so much going on. So the next vendor is another one of my favorite vendors, Toltech Plants. That is Big Leaf Jim, a really good friend of mine. And you know, Pearl and her family have these plants which are grown in their farm in Thailand, and these plants are brought in from overseas. It looks like Toltech Plants will actually start their own air cargo business, which is exciting because then they are able to get more plants sourced out from, say, Thailand, brought into the United States. And you can see right here, they are coming in hot and ready to go with all of these beautiful variegated plants. Toltech Plants is another vendor that was originally based out in Texas, North Dallas, but they ended up moving to Florida where they actually have an amazing growing nursery. But you can see right here, look at this, philodendron, caramel marble, and everybody is all looking for this. Look at how massive this plant is. Now, the majority of these plants are fresh imports from their farm out in Thailand. I would say if you're looking for a rare or uncommon plant, a unicorn plant, Toltech Plants has it or are able to get it. And I'm gonna just showcase all of the plants here. Like everywhere you turn, Toltech basically has plants that are just variegated, and we already know that everybody loves these variegated plants. And right, again, you already know my eye is always looking for a specific plant, and hopefully you guys don't get tired of me talking about it, but I love the fact that Toltech Plant has Aglaonema. So this is an Aglaonema airplane. I believe these were retailing for about $40. Look at that beautiful variegation. So it's basically a variegated Aglaonema silver bay. So in terms of the common big box store Aglaonema that you will find, that is the variegated form. What a beautiful plant. And even for a variegated Aglaonema, it tends to grow fairly quickly. And so I actually have one that I bought from another seller from Thailand called Live with Plants. You'll see that in my plant haul video at some point, but I regret not getting any more of these Aglaonemas. And then this is another type of Aglaonema species. Not sure if this is the Aglaonema airplane. This one has more narrow leaves, and this is one that looks almost more like a philodendron. Did you guys know Aglaonema Aglaonema are also part of the aroid family. It's just probably the most underrated aroid. But let me just continue to walk around and show you the gorgeous Aglaonema and all of the plants from Toltech Plants. Please make sure you guys are following Toltech Plants on Instagram. The intent and purpose of my Plantcon coverage is to really highlight a lot of the vendors that I have some pretty close relationships with, and then also to create awareness of some of the other vendors that may not have been featured. Like I said, again, disclaimer, these are going to be videos that are going to be several parts. So part 1 is just going to feature some of these vendors, and I will go to part 2. Otherwise, it's going to be like a 4 to 5 hour long video. I already create long format content, but I'm not sure if you want to sit there for 4 hours and listen to me talk. Shout out to all of the plant foldies that actually approached me and finally saw my face. As you guys know, I do faceless YouTube, but you guys were so sweet. I've got you guys on clips, not on this video, or maybe you might show up, but hopefully plant foldies, you will see some live plant foldies there. But you can see right over here, look at how gorgeous all of these Toltech plants are. And everybody please say hello in the comment section to Pearl. She is so sweet holding one of those large Aglaonema airplanes. Like I said again, Pearl and the Toltech team, Big Leaf Jim of the DFW plant community is out representing. And, you know, that's the thing that makes me super proud about just being in the Dallas plant community. There is really a strong bond that we all share. And even on an international stage like Plantcon 2025 in Houston, we're able to celebrate plants together. We're able to support each other. And that's really what it is all about, is making sure that we are uplifting each other and making sure that we just create that awareness for how close the plant community is. You know, as far as the Dallas-Fort Worth plant community, super excited to see many vendors from there. And even for our very own, the Pond Don Fidel, even doing his passive hydro speech and teaching people about passive hydro. So you'll just see a lot of that content throughout my YouTube videos. And then you can see right here, Aglaonema airplane. This is a stunner. This is one that if you are into Aglaonema and you want a variegated version, this is a beautiful one, and Toltech Plants has this available. I regret not purchasing another one on day one, but you know, the thing about it is, and here's my experience, whenever you go to Plantcon, it's just sensory overload. You're just inundated with so many gorgeous plants, and then just the vibe itself, it's good vibes only. You know, my thing about it is, whenever you have that positive aura or demeanor, that energy is going to be returned to you full force, tenfold. And even with Toltech Plants, these guys are amazing, and you can just see everywhere you turn, Toltech Plants is bringing the heat with all of these beautiful variegated plants, and even the plants that are not variegated, super stunning. And I just can't help but showcase with pride that this is another Dallas-Fort Worth based business that is now relocated in Florida. And you know, as far as Pearl and the Toltech team, if you are not following them on Instagram, please follow them. They do offer wholesale pricing. They just recently announced that they will have their own air cargo business, so you are able to source out a lot of these plants and they're able to get it to you to your doorstep directly. So send them a direct message and make sure you buy an Aglaonema. I'm going to be talking about Aglaonemas, and feel free to disengage from this video if you are not feeling Aglaonema, because I'm going to plant influence you. I'm going to pan out and show you all of these beautiful Epipremnum pinnatum yellow flame, for instance. But just know that if I find an Aglaonema, you must at least pay attention and maybe even consider adding it to your plant collection. All of these plants are trending. You can see right here, Aglaonema ormthong. This is another large leaf, fast growing syngonium. Really love the look of that. And you can see right here, they also have some pearls, and not pearls, I'm sorry, enjoy pothos. And then look at over here, Pearl is just getting all of these set up. So this again was footage that I shot before the general admission crowd came in. They did have some industry passes. So that is something that I did want to talk about, is if you really want to get in before even the early access, they do have that available as well. And then you can see right here, Big Leaf Gym is just showing this beautiful philodendron, variegated boletier tricolor. So it's got some pinkish to it. And that's the reason why Toltech Plants, one of the leading plants in terms of variegated and rare, hard to find plants. You can see Monstera studliana aurea is here. We got some syngoniums, many varieties that you can get. And as far as their plant pricing, it is affordable, at least for what these plants are and the value and worth of these plants. So if you ever make it to Plantcon, definitely go here, Plant Foldies. Please tell Pearl, please tell Big Leaf Jim that you are a Plant Foldie. I'm really thankful actually that I had the opportunity to meet the Plant Foldies in person. It was really a big honor. It's very humbling for somebody to come up to you, introduce themselves, and let you know what the content I create, how it impacts them on a daily life. Because for me, you choosing to be positive, to be part of the Plant Foldie community, to celebrate plants with me, to create that awareness, and just to be excited about congregating and just having a big plant party. I mean, Plant Foldies, you guys are amazing. As many times as I've had rough days in the last couple of weeks, with some of the weather destroying some of my Japanese maples, etc., etc. I could go on and on, but this is a Plantcon video. Just know I want to speak to all of the loyal Plant Foldies that really tune in day to day in the live premiere chats. I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate you guys supporting all of the businesses that I am openly promoting. I mean, I am not sponsored by any of these vendors. Just know that this is because I really feel like that awareness is going to create even more business for these vendors, and they deserve it. I mean, Toltech Plants, look at this. And I'm just going to go ahead and just keep walking around showcasing Toltech Plants. This is another booth that was definitely a showstopper. And when you talk about an alternative to a large variegated monstera, look at this. This is an Epipremnum aureum enjoy Pothos mature version. Look at how large the leaves are. Truthfully, they are just as beautiful as, say, a monstera. But this is just one of those Pothos plants that you would see at a big box store like Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart. These are the hanging baskets that, say, Costa Farms offers. But when you let it mature on a pole or moss pole, a totem pole, or some sort of plank, this is when you start getting those large leaves. And I think that is just stunning. I believe this one was for $80, and it is worth every single penny you would spend, because look at how healthy these are. Look at that variegation. Look at the leaf shape. There's just so much going on with the Epipremnum aureum enjoy Pothos mature, or what you would call the jumbo enjoy Pothos. So Toltech Plants has it. And again, if you are interested in buying Toltech Plants, follow them on Instagram. Send them a direct message on Instagram. Perhaps they can ship to you directly. But, as far as what this booth did, as soon as general admission came in, this is when everybody was all about this. So very cool. And I love the fact that these are the rare and uncommon plants. You can see that this is that Plant Expo International 2025. They just have a lot going on. And so I'm going to stop talking for a minute and just take the time to show you these plants. get tired of just showcasing Toltech plants. Look at this Epipremnum aria Marble Queen Pothos mature version. So you'll notice that these Pothos plants that we see in hanging baskets that are trailing, again, when you let them grow in the way that they naturally grow, which is to climb up trees, they get really large plants. And you can even just see Big Leaf Jim just selling it and selling these plants. I love it, love it, love it. And the amount of joy just showing you all of these rare and uncommon plants, these super healthy plants. And while these plants are pretty much fresh imports, there is a process in which you need to acclimate them. But for the most part, these plants are super healthy and they have such a high success rate of being acclimated to your space. If you tune in to my first of many Plantcon plant haul videos, you will see that a lot of my plants are actually from overseas source. And I'll show you the process in which I try to acclimate them and give them the best possibility of actually growing successfully in my care. With these plants, these overseas plants, there is a chance that they make it to plant heaven. But I mean, look at this. Who would not want to take a risk of just trying to grow a Homolamena pink diamond, for instance? That's one of my wish list plants. Eventually, I will get a hold of them. You know, as far as, you know, my funds, I will tell you honestly, I spent quite a bit of money before I even stepped into Plantcon, and I'm okay with that. You know, sometimes you can say YOLO, or you only live once, or you need to treat yourself. You know, self-care is the best care, and plants are definitely a great solution for that in caring for your mental health being and just your overall wellness. And all of this greenery, all of the things that you see at Plantcon. This is a reason why, if you haven't already decided to go to Plantcon, hopefully my videos will inspire you and you would consider doing the travel for Plantcon. Again, it was about a 4.5 hour drive if I were to drive this directly. Shout out to Luke for driving me. We ended up getting a hotel further up in North Houston and had a couple of hours to sleep before we made it further down into Houston at the NRG Convention Center. And you know, this is really the flagship area for Plantcon. That was one of the first venues. Plantcon Houston 2024, I believe, is when it happened. But as far as the organization, it was really organized, lots of vendors and lots of plants to look at. So I'm just going to continue to pan around here and show you this. And yes, I am giving lots of airtime for some of the vendors that I have seen over all of these other plant cons. And I'm just happy that Toltech Plants continues to bring the heat with all of these healthy, gorgeous, beautiful variegated plants. And please get yourself a variegated Aglaonema. Let's do that today. Let's make sure we are hashtag popularizing Aglaonema. I need y'all to share this video. I need y'all to be talking about Aglaonemas. Y'all need to tell people, okay, you are into X, Y, and Z plants, but what about an Aglaonema? Because my intention and the reason why I am creating this content is I need us to create a new trend, which is Aglaonemas. Call me silly, call me crazy, call me whatever, but that is truly my intention, is to showcase obviously Plantcon and the vendors. But if I see Aglaonemas, you're going to see that. And take a look at this variegated Belitier, large form. Beautiful. This is just breathtaking to me. And even just reliving the voiceover where I am just showing you all of these videos, it's just amazing. And as far as Toltech, again, make sure you are following them on Instagram at Toltech Plants. Send them a direct message. Leave comments in the comment section for their posts, because you can see that they have some of the best plants in this whole Plantcon convention. Talk about a high variegation of a variegated desert rose. Look at this right here. Toltech Plants offers this. This is another plant that I regret not purchasing from Toltech Plants because the desert rose actually really reminds me of my grandmother. I have to talk about my grandmother for a second. She is the reason why I have even gotten into plants to begin with. My Lola Belen. Lola means grandmother in Tagalog, which is the official national language of the Philippines. And she loves desert rose. I should have got this for her. She just recently celebrated her 90th birthday, and I am just thankful that she is of sound mind, health, and as far as plants, she even mentions that the reason why she has had such good health is because she surrounds herself with plants. I mean, look at this Epiprenum pinnatum yellow flame mature version. This is basically a weed in the Philippines. This is endemic to my home country, the Philippines, and I will never stop talking about how proud I am to be Filipino American, to be able to share this platform, to share the plants that are pretty much endemic to Southeast Asia. There's a lot of Southeast Asian vendors. We have a lot of Indonesian sellers, Thai sellers, Filipino sellers at these plant conventions. And just remember, whenever you look at these plants, as these plants are considered house plants, know that at least for my home country, the Philippines, these are plants that just grow outdoors. And I'm gonna approach one of my friends' booths in just a second, but you can see that it is not that busy yet. This is Live with Plants, which is Sarut's booth. This is another international vendor from Thailand. We'll take a look at that in a minute, but I did also want to go showcase Dandy Plants. So this is another nursery out in Michigan that gets a lot of plants from overseas, and so you'll see a plethora of amazing, rare, and uncommon unicorn plants. That's the thing about Plantcon. You need to save your money because your budget will be spent within one booth. Dandy Plants, super thankful to have met Dandy Plants. Such lovely owners. I'm hoping to get in touch with them about just some more of the Aglaonemas. We did talk about Aglaonemas in the acclimation process, but you can see for those that have not bought from Dandy Plants, make sure you are following them on Instagram and send them a direct message if you're interested. I do believe they sell on Palm Street as well. And if you want some rare variegated philodendrons, aeroids, monsteras, alocasia, simdapsis, they've got it all. And what's even more exciting is they just said that they have just gotten another shipment of some rare and uncommon Aglaonema. And we had this full discussion about how Aglaonema is not really that popular. It's harder to sell. And I even mentioned to a lot of these vendors that actually go to Plantcon, look around you. I even challenge them to look around you and look at the plants. And I don't want to discredit the beauty of these variegated plants, but every single vendor had something very similar. What I always mention when it comes to it is be the trendsetter. Be the person that introduces a certain plant. Align yourself with people that are willing to follow you for that new trend. And Aglaonema is going to be it. I'm sure you guys are tired of Aglaonema. I'm pretty sure one of you guys is probably going to hit the dislike button, probably say something negative. But in this community, the Plantfoldy community, number one, negativity is not tolerated. And I always ask people, why press the dislike button, silently giving hate when you just don't have to engage in that content? And that's really the conversations I've had with a lot of the Plantfoldies and even the vendors about how on social media we need to be kinder, we need to be mindful, we need to be cognizant in the way we interact with each other. And I'm just really celebrate that positivity. I mean, because look at this. Dandy Plant, Philodendron Pink Princess, Mutation. Look at this. Such amazing variegated plants. I'm a sucker for pink plants. I think everybody who watches the Grow Folds YouTube channel can say that they are into pink plants and just these variegated plants. But Dandy Plants, again, really happy that I finally got to talk to them and, really give you some insights. I gave them some of my personal insights about just what I think about plants, what plants could be possibly trending, because as a seller, a vendor, a nursery owner, it's really a guessing game. But I always tell people to be willing to take risk, be willing to introduce plants that not everybody is selling, because when you are offering something more unique, something that could potentially become a new trend, that's something that will bring more business. And I truly believe that. And then, obviously the power of social media. Social media is a platform where you can really create create a force for good. And that is the reason why, if you look at the playlist of Plantcon videos, I like to do long format content. I will talk your ear off, and I already know some people will say, Richie, you are too talkative. Richie, you are repetitive. I don't mind that at all, because you know what? This is my space where I can show you beautiful vendors like this, Live with Plants. So I did want to take a little bit of time to highlight Live with Plants. So Live with Plants is an international vendor from Thailand. Sarut was super kind. I remember meeting him at Plantcon Dallas 2024, where I ended up getting a tissue culture monstera snow monster or something of that nature, and some Aglaonema. And then I ended up seeing him in Orlando, Florida, Plantcon, and he is here setting up his plants. So if you see my plant haul videos, you will see that there is a lot of effort put into these plants to be able to sell them, to be able for them to enter the United States. There are strict guidelines to phytosanitary certificates. And so whenever you go to Plantcon, I would say support the local businesses, obviously, but also give the international vendors a lot of love, because they are traveling thousands of miles away with all of these plants. And even the process to get rid of the soil substrates, to make sure that these are pest free, there is a lot of overhead that goes into it. But one thing I will say, thank you so much to Sarut, because he was able to source out some Aglaonema variegated red Siam or Siam Aurora. So if you ever go watch my big box or plant shopping videos, you know that I love even the most common Aglaonema red Siam. This is the variegated form. This is the one that, you know, I asked Sarut to source out for me. He was able to get me 3. One of them is actually going to my friend Michael, another plant foldie who is obsessed with Aglaonemas. And you can see that he did bring a couple of other ones over here. And that's the thing, whenever you make connections with some of these international vendors, sometimes they are willing to go send a specific plant to a plant show like this. So I ended up doing a pre-order, a pre-pickup for these gorgeous Aglaonema red Siam variegated forms. You can see how beautiful this is. This is something a little bit more unique. So whenever you put, say, an Aglaonema variegated form next to, say, a variegated philodendron, a variegated monstera, or even a variegated alocasia, it's something different. Now, leave in the comment section, plant foldies, or even somebody that's not necessarily a plant foldie, what your insights are. I truly want to see the feedback of what you're thinking about these plants, and whether you're willing to go to Plantcon. Highly recommend it. I would say if you're willing to pay a little bit more for early access, you are able to enjoy the plants a little bit more, because once general admission hits, you will be inundated with a lot of people really just trying to get all of these plants, because everybody loves it. Like I said, again, you know, Live with Plants. Sarut is awesome. So thankful. And he has so many unique variegated plants from Thailand. And when you think about Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, Vietnam, all of those Southeast Asian countries, a lot of these plants are more locally available versus, say, you know, these plants that we would consider unicorn plants. These are a little bit more common in Southeast Asia. So that's the reason why, if you are willing to buy plants that are sourced from overseas, the only thing is you're going to have to work a little bit harder to acclimate these plants. But if the plants make it through the acclimation process, then you have a unicorn plant. You have something that's a little bit more unique than what we would typically see in the US market. And I mean, look at these, lots of variegation. Variegation is where it's at. And Plantcon tends to deliver many vendors that I will say I'm a little bit more partial to the international vendors, because being somebody, my family's from Southeast Asia, the Philippines, you know, these are plants that we do celebrate. And look at this, Monstera deliciosa Sphinx. So this is another interesting monstera or variegated monstera that's a little bit more of a variant. It's not necessarily a monstera mint. It's a little bit different. You know, my hope is that I'll be able to visit Thailand someday. I hope that I would be able to see Sarut's nursery or Live with Plants nursery, as well as Indonesia. You know, there's a lot of Indonesian sellers that I was able to get plants from, which I will talk about and show you in my Plantcon haul. Like I said, again, plant foldies, please make sure you are following Live with Plants on Instagram. Send Live with Plants lots of love and positivity, because look at this. Gorgeous monstera, lots of variegation. And so we're just gonna keep looking at all of Sarut's gorgeous plants here. see how gorgeous all of these plants are that Live with Plants has. And, as somebody that creates content, it is my honor to create that awareness and really highlight the efforts that these vendors put into creating a show like Plantcon 2025 in Houston. I really hope that every single vendor that participated was able to meet some kind people, and for everybody to be respectful and even consume and buy all of these plants. Because if I did have a budget, I would definitely buy even more plants. But these plants can get a little bit costly. Totally understand for that. And I did want to put it out there, straight up, plant foldies. If you didn't know, there is an option to send a super sticker, which is a monetary tip that you can provide for a content creator on YouTube. Just press the dollar button sign and you can leave a monetary tip that does cover some of my gas, some of my travel expenses to get here, as well as my plant budget. So feel free to do that. Don't feel obligated, but any super stickers would be highly appreciated and highly valued. So now this is for the folks that love anthuriums. This is Midnight Garden by High. Look at these anthuriums, and I already know, plant foldies, that anthuriums is basically the king of the trending plants, and I understand it. I understand the process of being able to hybridize them, create their own hybrids, the beautiful leaf shape and textures. What I would say about anthuriums is there is a very unique look about the foliage. Like literally, it's whether the leaf shape, the imperfections of the leaf shape, or the perfection of the leaf shapes, the velvety textures, the veining, the petioles. There is so much going on with anthuriums, and it was really nice to meet High. He was really awesome, and we just talked about anthuriums as well. Now, granted, I don't have a lot of anthuriums. What I do have is a few anthuriums that some people will say they're finicky plants, but for me, I actually neglect them and don't have a bunch of humidifiers and things like that. They just do really well for me putting in a passive hydro setting, or what you call semi-hydro. So I grow a lot of my anthuriums in lechuza pond, but you can see right here, gorgeous anthuriums. For my anthurium lovers, my anthurium collectors, please leave in the comment section what you think about the Midnight Garden. And you can even see these are the cream of the crop anthuriums, and he has them in a humidity dome, and he's just spraying water to increase the humidity of these plants, because I totally get it. When you have air conditioning, it does get rid of some of the humidity, and some of these plants truly need that high humidity. And that's the reason why, for me, as much as anthuriums are beautiful and you can admire them, for me, I just don't have the environmental space, nor do I have really the time and effort to be able to grow anthuriums long term. That's the reason why, as much as all of these plants are stunning and gorgeous, realistically, and I say this as somebody that wants to give meaningful value added tips for anybody that wants to grow plants, yes, you might want to be able to get some of these wish list plants, but just assess your space. Just look at how much time you have, what your budget looks like for these plants, because you can't just set it and forget it about these plants, especially with anthuriums. So for me, as much as I love anthuriums, I just like to admire them from afar. I have a couple, they're not really finicky for me. So those are the types of plants I like, are the ones that are a little bit more easy care plants versus maybe anthuriums. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe there's an easier method to taking care of anthuriums, but what I will say about Midnight Garden is one of the premier anthurium booths at Plantcon 2025. And I'm thankful that I was able to meet, High, and he is following me on Instagram. And that's the thing about going to Plantcon. Some of us might be a little bit introverted. I know that I'm definitely not an introvert. And, for the plant foldies that ran into me in person, thank you for complimenting me and saying that I'm not a scary person and that I'm actually pretty sociable. For those that are new to the channel, I do faceless YouTube. And the reason being is I like to separate myself from that social media presence. I feel like my content is centered around more about the plants versus me. There are different ways of creating content. Some plant influencers, it's a combination of both. And sometimes the plant influencer, it might just be all about them, and that is okay. But for me, the content that I am producing, I really want to make sure that I center it around the plant vendors and definitely the plants. I mean, look at this anthurium right over here. What do y'all think in the comment section? Please leave that in the comment section. Give me some insights. Plant foldies. Already know what you need to do. Make sure you follow Hoffmani High on Instagram. Let him know you are at Plantfoldy, because if you love Anthuriums, he's got the goods for you. And right next to this booth, we have Blessings right over here. Enjoy Blessings plants. So this is another Houston-based nursery plant shop. And you know, these plants right here were definitely very affordable. They weren't the super rare plants, but they had such a great selection. And I just love speaking to the owners of this plant shop. You know, they had a lot of the plants that we would see at big box stores, but they also had some stunners. I really love the planters as well. And that's the thing about Plantcon. So you can see some of the uber rare plants, but then you have some of the plants that are easy care, a little bit more accessible, but that does not devalue the plants. I think if anything, it just gives a bigger diversity of what kind of plants you can get at Plantcon, as well as some of the artists and the planters that you would find, some of the planty accessories. So for me, I'm just gonna walk around and feature some of these plants. I really did have a lovely conversation at Enjoy Blessings Plants. They just had some really cool plants. And you know, it's exciting because she actually shared the fact that she was able to get a wish list plant, which was a variegated monstera adansonii, which I will feature in just a sec from her. But you'll see what a beautiful selection of plants. Many that are accessible at big box stores, but I do love the presentation as well as the unique planters that they have available. You know, as far as Blessings, we definitely need to enjoy Blessings that plants give us, because they are such good, I guess, just barometers of our mental health. And that's the thing, you know, all of the serotonin levels, everybody was on a positive high at Plantcon. So I do encourage y'all to definitely look at Plantcon for sure. Here is another amazing nursery, El Huizache, which is a nursery out in Brownsville, Texas. So they travel quite far and they actually specialize in a lot of these desert rose. Look at how beautiful these desert rose are. And I really had fun just talking to the owners, and they were really excited that I was filming their nursery. So if you guys haven't already, please make sure you are following them on their socials. They have quite a bit of different types of desert rose. And you know, that is one plant that really just reminds me of my grandmother. I wish I would have bought some plants. And you can see right here, they've got some plumeria cuttings. Plumerias are super easy to root. You can literally put them in a soil substrate. In about 3 weeks, they will take root. And, you know, they had a special where you can buy 3 plumeria cuttings for $25 or $10 each, which I think is an amazing deal. And then you can just see they've got some succulents and some Crusala ovata, or some of those jade plants. But you'll see right over here, they even have some air plants and some variegated, but this is their information here. Please make sure you are supporting them and able to support their socials as well. Like I said, again, a lot of the vendors that I'm featuring on my Plantcon 2025 Houston videos, I really just want to make sure that there is some awareness, support for these vendors and nurseries that work very hard to grow out these plants and provide them. Like, I wanted to buy this variegated desert rose. That's something that I would absolutely love to get at some point. So we'll see what that looks like. But as far as this nursery, they do specialize in desert rose and plumerias. You know, I would say care tips for these plants right here is they need fast graining soil, definitely more of a cactus succulent mix, lots of sun or bright indirect light. As far as the desert rose, you want to keep them more so on the drier side. And you can see they've got the variegated forms as well here. You know, it is all about the variegation for some people, but for me, I can appreciate both. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, if you actually grow desert rose, what your thoughts are. And I'd like to just continue to get those insights from you guys. So let me just continue to walk around and feature this gorgeous nursery based out in Brownsville, Texas. just cut to a little commercial break. So did you guys know that Classy Rabbit Soil was one of the major sponsors for Plantcon 2025 in Houston, Texas? They also had a booth, which I will feature later on in another video. But you can see right here, this is my bag of Classy Rabbit Soil. So a couple of things for those that are not aware of what Classy Rabbit Soil is. It is a local small business based out in McKinney, Texas. We love supporting small businesses, and Classy Rabbit Soil is very innovative in a sense that this soil is 100% naturally sourced ingredients. One of the main components is clearly the rabbit manure, but it also has some really great ingredients such as composted food waste. We've got rice hulls, we've got pumice, and it has a lot of natural mycorrhizae, and that's what really makes this soil very special, because it helps establish strong root systems. And that's what you really need for plants to really get that nice, vigorous, healthy growth, is a really good soil substrate. So just a little insight, I actually was going to give up on soil substrates and really move a lot of my plants into semi-hydroponic substrates such as Lechuza Pon and Leca. But then I was introduced to Classy Rabbit Soil. They were also a sponsor for the Plantcon Orlando, where I met up, and I didn't even realize that it's such a small world that they are actually a local business out in McKinney, Texas. We love our DFW businesses when it comes to plants in the community. So you can see how it's super chunky, it's fast draining soil, and I just recently potted up in Aglaonema golden powder, which I also bought from another local plant shop called Peta's Planters. Definitely follow Peta's Planters on Instagram, and just support all of these Dallas local businesses. But you can see right over here, look at how amazing this is. Look at how fast draining the soil is. So all of my plants that I will be getting from Plantcon, and I will share that in a future plant haul video, will be potted up in Classy Rabbit Soil. If you haven't already pooped on your plants, now is the chance to do so. Please make sure you follow Classy Rabbit on Instagram. And yes, I am heavily promoting Classy Rabbit because I truly believe in the soil. It is one of the best soil substrates I've ever used. Shop ClassyRabbit.com. They do offer free shipping, and a lot of the DFW local nurseries and plant shops are already carrying this. I always ask everybody, have you pooped on your plants? If you haven't, you need to do so today with Classy Rabbit Soil. They also have some other products such as soil conditioners, and they recently released a succulent cactus soil mix, and they should be releasing an outdoor garden mix as well. So definitely take a look at that. And so now we're going to be looking at some of the other vendors right over here. We're going to just be chugging along and looking at some of the other vendors. Know that we are going to have a lot of plant vendors featured. So I'm going to have several parts to the day one Plantcon Houston videos, but you'll see that the chaos has not started, because as I was filming this content, it was super early in the morning. I actually woke up around 5:30 in the morning, drove down from North Houston to actual Houston to make it here. You can see that there is that Classy Rabbit booth right there, but I will feature them in a separate video. Now we are looking at HT Succulents. So here's the thing. HT Succulents is also another plant vendor that I learned and introduced, was introduced to at the Plantcon Orlando convention earlier this year. And this one right here is another local Houston business, family owned by a Vietnamese family. And you can see right here, they've got some Aeoniums. Look at how gorgeous and highly variegated this is. This is not your average succulent. And what I would say about it is, if you're looking for some variegated Crusala ovatas with pink sunstress variegation, they specialize in what they call the cherry blossom succulent bonsai, which I am featuring right here. It doesn't even look like real plants, but these are absolutely stunning. Please make sure you are following HT Succulents on Instagram. I did flash their phone number if you're wanting to make orders. I'm not sure if they are able to ship, but I will say that their succulents were amazing. And that's the thing about Plantcon. They really do a great job being able to feature many different types of plants, aside from our aroids. I know that aroids is really the big thing, philodendrons, monsteras, alocasias, Hoyas, but I'm glad that we are shedding some more light to succulents and cactus. I regret not being able to show some of the bonsai vendors because I had a couple of them as well in Houston, but you can see how gorgeous these succulent arrangements are. What I learned about succulents is, and you can see right here, look at this living stone or lithops arrangement she did. There's 87 of these in this little saucer. And what's interesting is these lithops can actually produce some gorgeous flowers. So lots to see. And I want to get one of these cherry blossom succulent bonsai at some point. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what you think. Please send some positive comments in the comment section for all of these vendors that are featured in my Plantcon video. It is really important for me to showcase these positive comments to these plant vendors because they work extremely hard to get these plants readily available. And you can just see right here, look at how gorgeous these cherry blossom Crusala ovata it is. It's got smaller leaves and it is a fairly easy plant. Here's the thing about this particular plant. You do need fast draining soil, aka Classy Rabbit soil. ClassyRabbit.com. Go ahead and check it out. Follow Classy Rabbit. Please leave comments in the comment section on Instagram for Classy Rabbit, as well as HT Succulents. And yes, for those that want to go after me, yes, I am being very commercial because it is important for me to promote these amazing plant vendors. I think they don't get enough credit enough. Social media is already a very complicated universe, I would say, to navigate. And so all of the vendors I do apologize in advance if I was not able to get a lot of the vendors at Plantcon. Again, my time was super limited, but at least I was able to feature some of the vendors. There's still plenty ahead, so make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. So if you're not into big box or plant shopping videos, at least subscribe with the notification so you can see the rest of the Plantcon videos that I will be posting throughout the week. And if you make it to a live premiere, you can join the live premiere chats, which is super fun because we have polls. You can chat with other plant foldies, and it's just a lot of interaction. And that's something that I'm super proud of when it comes to my YouTube subscribers and videos. Also, if you haven't already known, in the comment section, I have a direct link to join my YouTube membership tier. It's literally $2.99. It's just as much as if you were to buy a 3-inch planter from Costa Farms Exotic Angels, actually less, and you will get access to some of my more personal plants, some lifestyle blogs, etc. And truth be told, it's just going to make this YouTube channel a little bit more sustainable in a sense that it does cover some of the expenses to create these videos. But to go back to HT Succulents, beautiful arrangements, highly unique, and that's what I think is really fun, is to see a specific vendor. There was one vendor that had a bunch of coleus plants, and I seriously regret not being able to film it in detail. But there are other plant cons that I definitely want to attend. I am definitely going to Dallas Plant Con because that is a huge event, and I do plan on going with my Cultivation Corner Plant podcast host, Janae, Simone, and Stephen of I Live Plants, to New York City in August. So if you are a plant foldie in the East Coast, north of, in the northeast area is what I'm trying to say, definitely connect with me. And I'm just going to keep walking around here and showing you some more of these plants that they have at this plant con. you tell that I want to go highlight succulents? So this is East Austin Succulents. I've actually been to their actual nursery out in Austin, Texas. Gotta love Austin, Texas and all of their local nurseries, but look at this seller and look at this vendor. Look at all of the amazing succulents and cactus that they have available. And you know, when I think about some of the plant foldies, I know some of y'all, specifically Kathy from Canada, she is a super plant foldie, so I call those that are on the YouTube membership tier super plant foldies. I thought of you and I wanted to take a little bit of time to show you some of the succulents and cactus. And have no fear for those that are here for the philodendrons, monsteras, alocasias. There'll be plenty of that in a future video, but I did want to take a little bit of time to show you some of these succulents and cactus. Like, some of these are really uncommon and rare. What I love about succulents and cactus, again, as I continue to learn a little bit more about them, is just the different textures, the different colors, the different shapes of it. I think that succulents have more of an artistic, sculptural shape. Let me know in the comment section what you think. And then for those that know more about succulents and cactus, this channel is all about educating each other about plant care tips. Feel free to leave in the comment section what cactus and succulents you have, what your care tips are, and what are your wish list succulents and cactus, because East Austin Succulents is where it's at. You can see this is a massive booth with lots of rare and uncommon succulents and cactus mixed with some Hoya. So here's the thing about Plantcon 2025 in Houston. There were lots of Hoya heads because there was a lot of Hoyas available. I wasn't able to get nearly as much Hoya content, but there is going to be some. But as far as the succulents and cactus right over here, let me know what your favorites are using the comments timestamp. And if you made it this far into the video and you still haven't pressed the thumbs up and like button for this video, number one, I have to ask, what do I need to do to get your like? And number two, can we go ahead and do that so we can reward the efforts for these vendors and how they have presented their gorgeous plants? If it's not the like for me, it should be the like for these vendors, right? Definitely do that. And again, with East Austin Succulents, follow them on Instagram and their Facebook pages. Follow all their socials because they all deserve that space on social media. Let's promote these vendors and get some sales for them. But as you can see right here, look at these variegated succulents and cactus. It's amazing. I like the crest ones. That's something that I want to add to my plant collection. And you know, recently I went to Walmart and I did find the Costa Farms Desert Escape series of rare cactus and succulents, but this is on a whole different level with all of these succulents and cactus, euphorbias, haworthias. We've got it all over here. So I'm just going to walk around and show you these gorgeous plants. See how beautiful the structure of some of these cactus and succulents are. They're very much statuesque, very much works of art. And you know, East Austin Succulents brought the A game when it comes to the selection, diversity, health, and beauty of these plants. And that just makes me so excited. You cannot understand, plant foldies, how excited I am to be able to go to another Plantcon. How I am just really honored to be able to take the time and make this content for you. For those that have not made it to Plantcon, I really hope that these videos will give you some more excitement to potentially buy a plane ticket and fly out to Plantcon. It really is worth your time and money because you are going to be exposed to these plants in real life and be able to meet a lot of really kind people. The plant community in general is a really chill community. There might be a couple of folks that may not be as cool to interact with, but like I said before, if you surround yourself with people that are positive, kind, that kind of energy will come back to you. Again, for those that are interested, please join my YouTube membership tier for more exclusive content. I'll have some more behind the scenes stuff for Plantcon as well. And if you enjoyed day one, part one of Plantcon Houston 2025, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the notification bell on so that way you are tuned in when I post. This is Richie. I'll see you on the next one. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be going to Plantcon Houston 2025. This is day one, part two of my coverage. As always, please make sure you are pressing that thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as give me a follow on Instagram at Grow Folds. I'd really love to connect with all of you guys, but as you can see right here, this is my second installment of my detailed coverage of Plantcon 2025 in Houston, Texas. So there's going to be many more vendors that I will feature. This was a huge success, and I want to take you alongside with me as I feature many of the vendors at Plantcon. For me as a content creator, it is important to really celebrate the vendors and the hard work that they put in, and shout out to the Plantcon staff and team and all of the sponsors, as well as all of the volunteers that really made this possible. And speaking of sponsors, I did want to talk about Classy Rabbit Soil. It is a local small business located out in McKinney, Texas. They were a sponsor for Plantcon 2025 in Houston. Shout out to Nate and the team for being a vendor as well as a sponsor for Plantcon Houston. Thank you so much for that. And as you can see right here, Plant Foldies, I am showing you the amazing soil from Classy Rabbit. If you haven't heard about Classy Rabbit is a soil that is 100% naturally sourced. It utilizes rabbit manure, and I just absolutely love this soil. For somebody like me that really has given up on soil substrates, I went back to using soil to pot up a lot of my plants, like this Aglaonema, for instance. And the reason being is Classy Rabbit soil is a soil that is super chunky, fast draining. It is a complete soil. I love the ingredients that it has. It has compost food waste, as well as rice hulls, pumice, rabbit manure, and some mycorrhizae, which really helps establish a lot of the roots of the plant. And that's really what you want in a soil substrate. It is fast draining, but it also retains moisture as well. And it has been a lifesaver for a lot of my plants. A lot of my plants I get from overseas, and you'll see that throughout the Plantcon 2025 Houston plant haul that I will feature. I have a couple more plant haul videos, so stay tuned for that. But you can see right here, this is the Classy Rabbit soil, and as I finish up the potting, you can see how fast draining it is. If you haven't already bought your soil for Classy Rabbit, they do offer free shipping. Please visit classyrabbit.com. They were a major sponsor for Plantcon Houston 2025, and I am just really excited to really uplift and create awareness about this amazing product. The DFW, or the Dallas-Fort Worth area, has a really strong local community, and we were out there representing full force at Plantcon. I am super excited to be going to Plantcon Dallas as well later this year. But if you haven't heard about Classy Rabbit, buy your bag of Classy Rabbit. Go to classyrabbit.com. Again, they do offer free shipping depending on your orders. And my question is, why have you not pooped on your plants today, you must do it. You must poop on all of your plants. I love pooping on my plants because my plants just love that rabbit poop. Hopefully you guys will check this out. This is an amazing soil substrate. It is pretty versatile. It's a complete soil, and I think every plant lover that goes to Plantcon needs to get it. And speaking of my plant lovers, here with my plant foldie, we just met at Plantcon. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the plant foldies.
Hey, I'm Maria. I'm out of Memphis, Tennessee. And
Boom. So Maria, I'm gonna go ahead and look at your haul. What is going on here?
Right,
we got a
so
Syngonium frosted heart.
We do. And I do have a lot of Aglaonema.
So okay, I'm gonna give you a hard time because if you didn't buy that Aglaonema.
No, I'm coming back for the Aglaonema.
Okay. Hey, I already scouted out the Aglaonema pricing. Just FYI, we about to get a deal.
Oh.
For you.
Thank you.
You know I stay hustling.
I love it.
Look.
So I'm excited about this one. So
yeah, the Syngonium frosted. Yep.
And then
Starlight.
This is one on my list.
So are you trying to be the Syngonium queen? You trying to take Steve of I Live Plants' power?
That's why I was like, where is he?
He gonna be here.
Him.
And then you got a philodendron pink princess.
I got a PPP. Yeah, this is for my friend.
I love it, Marie.
Yeah, Maria.
Maria. All right. So you got an Aglaonema.
I did.
At where? Peta's?
Peta's, of course.
Shout out to Maria, one of the plant foldies that I met in person while at Plantcon 2025, Houston, Texas. You can see that this is one of the premier booths. This is Peta's Planters, and if you are a plant foldie, and for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. You can see that Peta's Planters has made a grand appearance at Houston Plantcon, and I'm super excited to announce that for the Dallas Plantcon, we are working on getting a huge pre-party for the plant foldies, for all the cultivators, for Dallas. So I'm hoping that for those that continue to watch my YouTube channel, as well as my friends Janae Simone and Steven of Island Plants, the Cultivation Corner crew, you guys will also make a trip to Dallas Plantcon later this year. You can see right here, Maria. Again, I just wanted to shout you out. Thank you for making my trip to Plantcon Houston amazing. It is not only about the plants, the vendors, but it's always about the people that make it to these events. And you know, for me to be able to visit and meet all of these plant foldies that tune in to watch my content, I really appreciate it. And so does Peta, because a lot of the plant foldies ended up buying plants at Peta's Planters. Shout out to all of you guys that really made it to Peta's Planters. As you can see right here, she's got a plethora of definite rare and uncommon plants, cost-effective plants, budget-friendly plants. That is the thing about Peta's Planters. She is able to ship. So if you guys miss Peta's Planters at Plantcon and you do not live out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can always shop Peta's Planters on petasplanters.com. She also has live selling, which sometimes I have participated in, and she is able to ship to you guys. And look at this right here, variegated philodendron gloriosum, for instance. And that's the thing about Plantcon, the fact that this show just has so many amazing rare and uncommon plants that you would not typically see at big box stores, for instance. It is one huge celebration, and I am just really happy that I've been able to make it to all of the Plantcons so far. I'm hoping that I can also make it to the New York City, because there are many plant foldies there. And like I said again, in terms of the plant foldies or the viewers that watch my channel, I was really taken back by many of you guys, because I didn't even realize that you guys would recognize me. Oftentimes when you guys did approach me, it's because you heard me talk and you guys mentioned that my voice was very recognizable. So again, thank you for making me feel seen, valued, and appreciated. It is you, the viewer, the plant foldie, that really makes creating plant content a lot of fun for me. This is a lot of work, but you know, as far as making these plant content, again, it is all about the plants. It is all about the community we create. And I mean, you guys haven't really seen me in person, faceless or maskless, but for those that ran into me, I mean, let me know in the comments what you thought of me in person. Hopefully I didn't talk your ear off, because as you already know, I will probably talk to you guys for a good hour and a half, 2 hours today, because this is a very detailed special detailing Plantcon Houston 2025. There are a lot of content creators out there, and for me, everybody has their own niche, their own way of presenting things. This is the only way I know to present Plantcon, and that's just me featuring some of the vendors I really love. And for those that didn't get featured, it's not that I didn't want to just feature the vendors. There were just so many vendors. There were over 200 different vendors, and I was only able to go to Plantcon Houston for just half a day. Normally, it's a 2-day event where I'm able to feature all the other vendors, but for Houston, you already know I could not feature Peta's Planters. I definitely wanted to feature her booth as one of the first booths, and also wanted to talk about Classy Rabbit Soil. If you guys didn't know, Classy Rabbit Soil was a sponsor for Plantcon Houston 2025. For anybody that is out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, for anybody that wants to support local businesses, support Peta's Planters, because you can see she has all of these rare variegated plants if you are looking for variegated alocasia, philodendrons, Hoyas, and definitely she is the queen of Aglaonemas in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Go to Peta's Planters, and if you want amazing, really great soil that I cannot stop raving about, you must poop on your plants and buy Classy Rabbit Soil. Go to classyrabbit.com. I am not an official Plantcon ambassador, but I will tell you, I am all about making sure that these vendors get the publicity, the shout outs, and all of the awareness of what plants they are bringing and what they can sell. So hopefully my content will also lift the views for these vendors, and also get you guys some sales, because I mean, Peta's Planters, like I said, variegated alocasia, stingray, she's got some unicorn plants. And you know, as far as just creating this content, you already know that the plant foldy community is all about that positivity. So I do ask anybody that has discovered my channel, if you like this type of content, number one, please make sure you are pressing the subscribe button with all the notification bell on. Number two, leave some positive comments for the vendors. You don't even have to leave any comments for me specifically, but for any of the vendors that are on this video, I really want them to see how positive the plant community it is. It is very important for me to foster that type of behavior with this this content. But as far as Peta's Planters, Peta, thank you so much for having me be one of your helpers at Plantcon 2025 in Houston. It is a lot of work, but you know, all of that work pays off when you are able to connect many people that have the same passion and love for plants. I mean, I would even describe Peta's Planters, even though I am definitely partial to her shop, as being one of the most versatile, one of the most diverse selections of plant booths out in the Plantcon. It makes me really proud to say that I live out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, especially when you have vendors as kind and as humble as Peta. So please, for those that are watching this Plantcon video, give a follow to at Peta's Planters. If you are in the local Dallas-Fort Worth area, make a trip out to her plant shop out in Dallas, Texas, and tune into the live selling, because my plant podcast co-host Janae Simone and Steven of I Live Plants, we all were able to finally make it to a Plantcon. We had so much fun, and you know, when I speak for Cultivation Corner, I am definitely speaking for Janae Simone and Steven of I Live Plants. Thank you to the cultivators, all of our collective viewers that pretty much watch all of our channels, for making us truly feel appreciated, because you guys have given us words of encouragement. And that really resonated with me very much so, because when I left Plantcon, it just reminded me how strong our community is, how positive our community is, and how much you guys have embraced me as an individual to be my most authentic self. I definitely am not the biggest plant influencer out there. I really don't even think I'm an influencer. If anything, the only thing I'm trying to influence you guys is to, you know, spread kindness on social media, be mindful of our presence on social media, as well as hashtag popularizing Aglaonema. But as you can see right here, Peta's planters, the excitement in my voice to feature her booth. On day 1, part 2, you can see she's got a plethora of philodendrons, different types of Hoyas, different types of variegated aroids, and obviously the Aglaonema. And I have to say, I'm so glad that I was able to sell some Aglaonema to some more plant foldies, because I feel like, you know, that's something that is very special to me. And then now we're going to be going to Hypnotic House Plants. So Hypnotic's House Plants is actually another plant shop / nursery based out in the Fort Hood, Killeen, Texas area. So I love that they were able to make it down to Houston, Texas. And let me tell you this, because I am a proud Filipino American, this is also another Filipino American based business, and they have so many amazing plants. So they've got a lot of syngoniums, they've got a lot of Epipremnum pinnatum, different types of pothos, and some philodendrons. They've got alocasia, they've got a lot of variegated plants. And so for me, if you want some of these more uncommon starter plants, this is a booth that you want to go to. Now, Hypnotic Plants Houseplants also sells on Palm Street. Definitely follow them on Instagram at Hypnotic Plants. Let them know you are a plant foldie, because you know what? For every single vendor that makes it to Plantcon, kudos to the vendors, because you have to think that the amount of work placed into growing these plants, getting them put into some type of truck or vehicle to be hauled over to a plant setup like Plantcon 2025 Houston, that is a lot of work. And hopefully we can translate that work to patronage, sales, positivity, and just being able to celebrate the plants. Now, this is an Epipremnum aureum resort, or what you call a Japanese pothos by the Toruno World Series. So Hypnotic Plants actually has these available. I have been trying to collect more of these Japanese pothos. I actually have Epipremnum aureum resort. It is a beautiful variegated pothos. The more light you give it, it's going to be more of that yellowish color. And you see right here, this is Epipremnum aureum shalala, which is another Toruno World Series pothos. This one is also being sold by Hypnotic Plants. I'm just going to go ahead and walk around, pick up their selection of syngoniums, pothos, alocasia, philodendron. And that's the thing about Plantcon. For any plant lover, you will find a plant that really fits your space, your love for plants, and your plant aesthetic. So let's just go ahead and take a look at some of the plants featured by Hypnotic House Plants. Hypnotic House Plants just has so many amazing Epipremnum pinnatum, Epipremnum aureum, and syngoniums. I'm just featuring a lot of these, and a lot of them are the Taruna World Series Pothos plants. I am curious for those that actually collect pothos, if you've gotten a lot of these Japanese pothos. They're a little bit harder to go by, and later on in this video you will see DNM Secret Garden, which is really one of the pioneers of being able to bring the Taruna World Series pothos or Japanese pothos to the United States. But that's the thing about going to a plant shows such as Plantcon. You are able to see a lot of plants that you may not typically see, and I also love the fact that you get to meet the vendors, the people that have taken a lot of their time to grow out these plants. I know that a lot of the vendors that I bought from were mostly from the international vendors, just because I love Aglaonema and they just tend to have more of a selection of Aglaonema. But if you are into like Epipremnum aureum or pothos plants, Hypnotic House Plants is where you need to be buying your plants as well. Again, they do sell on Palm Street, as well as if you haven't already followed their Instagram at Hypnotic House Plants, you can probably send them a direct message. And you can see right here Epipremnum aureum Punsin Manjula. So Punsin is a nursery out in Thailand, and that is another sport variegation or mutated version of a Manjula pothos that eventually had that stability. But you can see right there as I pan away, Hypnotic House Plants. It's definitely hypnotic. It definitely makes you want to buy plants. I mean, take a look at that beautiful philodendron. I think that might be a philodendron Florida Beauty crossed with a tortum. I'm not 100% sure, but this being a Filipino-based business, you can see this is an Epipremnum pinnatum lalahon, which is another Epipremnum pinnatum that is from the Philippines. And here's the thing, what makes me proud to be Filipino American is all of these rare plants. All of these plants that we are spending tons and tons of money on, just know a lot of these plants come from Southeast Asia, especially the Philippines. So all of these rare aeroids, philodendrons, monsteras, definitely Aglaonemas, syndapses, Epipremnum pinnatums, those can be sourced out from like my family's home country, which is the Philippines. And speaking of syngoniums, take a look at this syngonium Strawberry Ice Galaxy. I love this syngonium. The only thing I would say about this syngonium is you really want to get something with really good genetics, like this initial genetics, because you can see that the variation of pink variegation varies from every type of strawberry ice. This one's just a strawberry ice syngonium, not the galaxy version. And as far as syngoniums, I love them. As far as the care tips for syngonium, just make sure you do not leave them dry for too long, because that's when you start to run in issues. For me, I have to find more plants that are a little bit more drought tolerant, something like a Sansevieria, even an Aglaonema. But I've started to discover a lot of my Aglaonema that I collect, more of the more colorful ones that I get from Indonesia and Thailand, they tend to need to be watered a little bit more frequently. So, a couple of tidbits about that. Now, my thoughts about the vendors at Plantcon 2025 in Houston, I would just say that there was just so many vendors. And to me, seeing the growth of Houston Plantcon and just Plantcon in general is just amazing. It has exponentially grown within the past year. And I can just see it becoming even bigger and bigger, and maybe even become an international show where they might be able to stage an international plant con somewhere outside of the United States. I would definitely want to be part of that, or definitely see that. For me, my contribution to trying to get the awareness or growth of Plantcon is just to create these long format content videos. As far as Plantcon, people ask me all the time if they sponsor me to create these videos. And no, I do this because I want to make sure that the plant foldies get access to being able to see a plant show as big as Plantcon. And there's just a lot of vendors and people that I truly want to support. And I feel like just being able to pick up plants for a good hour and a half, to give you guys that experience, even though it's not in person, is enough to really create that influence to where people are supported and you're able to really see these gorgeous plants. It brings me a lot of joy and honor for anybody that actually compliments me on my work, because at the end of the day, at least for my social media presence, it's not really all about me and me, you know, the content is not basically centered around me as an individual. It's more centered around fostering the Plantfoldy community and definitely giving highlight to the vendors and also the plants that are being featured, because I think that that's important. Sometimes, you know, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent, but sometimes I feel like when we make content creation, sometimes it becomes more centric to the individual, especially if it's not really all about the individual. It should be about the plants and the people that are growing the plants. And so as far as all of the vendors today, you can see we are seeing a plethora of different ones. Like this is the Green Room Planter. This one's an international vendor. And what is up to Steven of I Live Plants? You know, we were just talking about content creation, and for us, the Cultivation Corner crew, we definitely wanted to feature a lot of the vendors and plants today. I think, in my honest opinion, that is more impactful way of actually being an influencer, is to just showcase the plants and make sure that the vendors get that airtime. And speaking of airtime, guys, Plantfoldies, take a look at this. Aglaonemas, and you can see that that is an Aglaonema red succum. We've got an Aglaonema cum, and all of these international vendors, what you have to realize is whenever you're getting plants from an international vendor, they cannot be in soil substrate. So all of these plants were actually handpicked, and there was a lot of care and process to get these plants to an international plant show like Plantcon. So things that you guys may not know is that these plants had to be getting a phytosanitary certificate, which means these plants cannot be shipped in soil. There are strict regulations to make sure that there's no soil, that these are pest free, and that they are shipped and healthy to go. I mean, this one right here, Aglaonema tricolor, for instance, these are the plants that I want to really talk about and influence you guys into looking at, because whenever you go to Plantcon, everybody, and this isn't to offend anybody, but really everybody is gravitating to Anthuriums, variegated monsteras, Hoyas, variegated alocasias. But how about the Aglaonemas? Can we please get a like, a comment, something for these Aglaonemas? Because for me, it is all about really uplifting and really just getting that excitement for the underdog, right? I've always been somebody that wants to cheer for the one that's not the loudest in the room, but has the most impact in the presence. And when you peel away, look at how gorgeous these plants are. Now, maybe, just maybe, if I just talk your ear off and more people start to show Aglaonema, maybe in the United States, the market will be a little bit more open to getting more of these plants, because you can see right here, I can guarantee you most of y'all have never seen these colorful Aglaonema at a big box store, more so not even in certain plant nurseries or shops. So for me, like this Aglaonema Orange Stardust, gorgeous plant. I love the orange color. These are, again, Aglaonema from Thailand. So these are import plants. Whenever you go to a plant show like Plantcon, whenever you're getting an imported plant, know that there is an acclimation period. What people don't understand is these plants have just traveled more than 10,000 miles, for instance, to get to the United States. They are in sphagnum moss. The roots are dehydrated. They've been in some type of air cargo shipment, and the plant is a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stress. And to me, it's really impressive to see that these plants are still healthy looking. What you want to do is remove the sphagnum moss from the plants. Rehydrate the roots, let them sit there for a good 24 to 72 hours and assess whether you want to put it in a substrate such as soil. And I would actually recommend using Classy Rabbit soil. Again, I will be the person that is going to be the hype person, somebody that is going to just make sure you know that Classy Rabbit was actually one of the sponsors at Plantcon 2025. I am going to be that ambassador for Plantcon's Classy Rabbit soil, because I just love Classy Rabbit soil. And somebody that lives out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you know, we have to take care of our own and our local businesses there. But You can see right here, this is another amazing Houston-based nursery. This one is Rad Roots, and I actually ran into Rad Roots when I was at the Texas Aroid show. This is another amazing nursery that really has a huge selection of anthuriums. So we were just talking about how anthuriums are probably the most popular collector plant aside from the variegated like philodendrons and monsteras. Many people are really into anthuriums, and I can understand why, because there's a couple of things that I can appreciate about anthuriums. It's the minute details of the leaf shape, the hybridization process where you can create your own crosses. There are lineage of anthuriums that people really follow. And, you know, as far as Rad Roots, again, follow them on their socials, Instagram. They also sell on Palm Street. They are able to ship, I believe. And if you are an anthurium lover, this is the one seller, one of the vendors I would recommend going if you ever go to future Plantcon. So I'm just going to walk around here and show you and feature you the anthuriums, because for me, I wasn't able to get all of the anthurium names of these specific anthurium crosses, and I don't want to butcher anything, because I know that if anybody butchers, say, my favorite plant genus Aglaonema names, I get slightly triggered. So for me, I'm just gonna let you enjoy the beauty of these gorgeous anthuriums. love the fact that this is one of the Anthuriums that I eventually want to get. This is so gorgeous. And if you guys look at Rad Roots nursery, I mean, just look at all of the different types of Anthuriums. I do believe that they got a couple of crosses and hybrids that they are currently producing. And to me, that is just amazing. And I eventually want to get into Anthuriums. So for those that are into Anthuriums or know the care tips for Anthuriums, please leave that in the comment section. And also please leave some shout outs to Rad Roots, Plantfoldies. I'm asking y'all, especially those that are loyal Plantfoldies, that the comment section be filled with lots of positivity and just kindness for these vendors, because at the end of the day, these vendors are what makes our plant dreams come true. I mean, you can see right here, Steven is in the background, filming some content as well. And, you know, shout out to Steven for taking Janae down to Plantcon 2025 in Houston. I know that you guys have been looking forward to watching, but we'll see if we can actually get season 3 together. Now, those that have not watched any Cultivation Corner plant podcast, please search YouTube Cultivation Corner. We've got seasons 1 and 2. I'd love for you guys to hashtag team replay it as well. Until we can get season 3, it's going to premiere sometime in the fall with Janae, Simone, and Steven of I Live Plants. But as we finish up looking at Rad Roots Nursery, you can just see that they've got so many different types of Anthuriums. If I didn't know any better, I would have ended up being one of those people that are just obsessed with Anthuriums. Now, in terms of another amazing vendor, Nirvana Tropicals. So if you haven't heard of Nirvana Tropicals, where have you been? Because Nirvana Tropicals is another Houston-based nursery that specializes in a lot of philodendron hybrids. They have their own Nirvana Tropicals hybrids of philodendron. I happen to get a couple, and then you can just see right here, they've got an amazing setup. I've seen Nirvana Tropicals 3 times already, and you can see Cebu Blue, Aurea. These are for $25, or Epiprenum pinnatum Cebu Blue Aurea. Again, that is just another variation of the Epiprenum pinnatum Cebu Blue, and you can see right over here, they just have such a beautiful setup, and to me, they've got really good cost-effective plant pricing. I do believe Nirvana Tropicals also sells on Palm Street. Please follow them on Instagram at Nirvana Tropicals. It is all about making sure that we are really supporting these vendors, because the people behind these plants is what really makes these plants special. I happen to have gotten to know the owners a little bit more so over the past year. They've been able to ship out a plant to me actually, and I am all about trying to collect some of their more their hybrids of philodendron. And you can see I'm just taking a little bit of time, a little slow time, slow mo on some of these plants right here, because they are absolutely stunning. And even the presentation of their philodendron, you can see that there is some leaf shine. Everything is really curated. That is what I love about Nirvana Tropicals, alongside with the selection of plants that they have. So if they continue to go to plant cons and show, that is another vendor that I would highly recommend checking out, buying plants. And, you know, for those that are just making it to this video, thank you again for tuning in and giving me the time to just watch my Plantcon 2025 Houston coverage. I really wanted to make sure that for those that are not able to make it to Plantcon, that you have a good idea of what the Plantcon experience could be. Now, as far as my videos, they don't necessarily give the justice of what it looks like whenever you are actually going in person, because there's a couple of things that I cannot emulate in a video coverage, and that would be the conversation and just being able to meet all of these plant lovers, being able to talk to the vendors themselves, and then also looking at these plants in person. So a lot of these plants, and we gotta admit, variegated plants are something that we do seek after, and with social media being such a driving force on whether we are into a plant or if we're not into a plant, it's just great to see the things that you might just see on a digital space, you can actually see in person. There were some, I would say, tourist attraction plants. There was a Monstera White Devil, again, that made its appearance to this show, and that is a sight to behold. But in terms of all of these philodendrons, you can see that it is flashing. I think they had one of the bulbs just kind of flash around here. It's giving that disco vibe. But if you see on the very left-hand corner, that massive plant, do you know that that is actually a syngonium? So it's a uncommon syngonium. I would say that this syngonium, as much as I want to be able to grow it, I've tried to grow it in the past. It's one of those syngoniums that tends to be a little bit more finicky. But if you have the conditions to be able to grow that Syngonium markii, it will turn out to be something beautiful like this. It doesn't even look like a typical Syngonium. It does require higher humidity, and Nirvana Tropicals, they actually had a mature specimen of a plant, and to me that is just amazing, and it just brings me so much joy to be able to feature that. And so I'm taking just a little bit more time, slowing it down a little bit for all of our viewers today, because when you talk about a vendor that has amazing aeroids, Nirvana Tropicals is another vendor that I would highly recommend looking for whenever you go to Plantcon or just any plant show. You need to go ahead and make sure you are following them on their socials. Leave comments. Let them know you are a plant foldie. Plant foldies, I know a lot of you guys are more of the mature crowd, so you may not necessarily be on Instagram. I don't mind that, but if you are on Instagram, let's show the positivity and power of the plant foldie community, because just meeting you guys in person, I mean, it was just our own little plant party. Hopefully for the Dallas Plantcon 2025, we are trying to create a huge plant foldie / cultivators meetup, maybe a day before actual Plantcon. We're thinking about doing it at Peta's Planter, so that's something we're going to coordinate. If you are interested in attending or joining or even helping with the planning, please leave a comment in the comment section. Hit us up, send us a direct message. Again, my Instagram handle is @growfolds, and if you are a vendor and I wasn't able to feature you on one of my videos at Plantcon, I do apologize, but please don't hesitate to send me a direct message, because I like to coordinate with a lot of the vendors, especially the ones at Plantcon. The fact that I'm able to just feature a lot of these plants, really create that awareness, it's very important for me. And I just want the plant foldies to just see these amazing plants. So you have to bear with me. If you are new, you probably might even just swipe away and not watch my videos. Just know, and you guys plant foldies, you already know, I love to talk. I love to be repetitive, and I love to show Aglaonema, but I'm really trying hard to not bore you guys. So I'm going to be showing some more of these different types of philodendrons and things of that nature. So let's take a look at the rest of the Nirvana Tropicals plants. just see the stunning beauty of all of these philodendrons. So this is that philodendron Nirvana hybrid. And can you see that it is only $75 for this massive plant? Now, with any type of philodendrons that have that high yellow variegation, you really want to make sure that you are providing it with lots of bright indirect light. Otherwise, you may not get that beautiful coloration. Now, as far as Nirvana hybrids, these are plants that are pretty cost effective as well. So if you are interested, you most likely can just send a direct message on Nirvana Tropicals. Instagram, they're pretty fast about responding. And so I'm going to just walk around and show you the plants. It is a little bit slower, so hopefully you guys can also enjoy the track. The dance track that I have is actually created by my friend who is a DJ. His name is DJ Bang Beats, so definitely check out his website, djbangbeats.com. He is a Houston-based DJ, and he's the one who has graciously been able to create some of these tracks for my YouTube videos. So shout out again to him, and just shout out again to the Nirvana Tropicals booth right over here at Plantcon. The next booth we are going to be looking at is Reena's Greenhouse, which is a Filipino-owned business based out in Florida. So Ate Reena is actually one of my good friends, and she always brings some amazing plants. So she has a humble setup right here. You can see she's brought some Aglaonema, she's got some Syngonium, she's got some variegated philodendrons, some really hard to find monsteras, awesome Syndapsis, and Epipremnum panatums right over here. But let me go ahead and pull up these Aglaonemas, for instance. So Aglaonema Lotus Delight. So instead of having to import the Aglaonema Lotus Delight, you can actually buy it from Reena's Greenhouse for an affordable price. You can see that is my Ate Reena right over here. And again, I'm gonna go feature this right here, Aglaonema Lotus Delight. Look how beautiful the coloration is on this plant. And then also Aglaonema Kanza. Aglaonema Kanza is absolutely stunning. I am hoping to get another Aglaonema Kanza. Now with the Aglaonema Lotus Delight and Aglaonema Kanza, those are created by a famous Indonesian hybridizer by the name of Greg Hambali. He has already passed away, but his legacy continues with his daughter. And you know, I am always trying to search for Aglaonema hybrids by Greg Hambali. And then you can see over here plant foldies. Let's just keep walking around here, and you can see all of the other rare and uncommon plants that Reena's Greenhouse has. She does have an Etsy shop. I believe she sells on Palm Street. But if you are not following her on Instagram, follow her on Instagram at Reena's Greenhouse, and you should be able to send her a direct message. And she is also able to ship some of these plants. So if you are wanting to support a fellow kababayan means countryman in Filipino, definitely support my Ate Reena, or the way I would say it is my older sister. I consider her like a sister with her plant shop, because I mean, look at this. She's got some amazing plants. And like I said, again, when it comes to Plantcon, there are a lot of Filipino owned businesses out at Plantcon. And you know, a lot of these plants, like I said, again, are endemic or are sourced out from the Philippines. So if you are a Filipino American, if you are Filipino, please leave in the comment section. Leave me some comments in Filipino as well. Let's celebrate our kababayan spirit on this video. And as you can see right here, variegated coffee plants. So this is actually one of the plants that I wanted to get from my Ate Reena. This one is for $125. Look at how cool that is. And she always has some unique plants available whenever I go to Plantcon, and you cannot ignore all of these gorgeous Aglaonema. This one is an Aglaonema Gold Pink in a 4-inch planter. Look at how stunning that is. And I have to ask anybody that has never really gotten into Aglaonemas, if for some reason, you know, my video was recommended to you, first of all, thank you again for tuning in. But this Aglaonema Kanza for $65, that is such an amazing price considering this is one of those hard to find Aglaonema. I definitely want to get another Aglaonema Kanza. I have one in my collection. I got it from 365 Hydroponics at Plantcon Orlando. But this is another one that I'm probably going to go ahead and send a direct message to my Ate Reena, because she has some amazing Aglaonemas. Again, plant foldies. Can we trend Aglaonema? Can we talk about Aglaonema? Can we make videos about Aglaonema? Can we just tell everybody Aglaonema is like the best plant to collect ever? Or am I just a crazy one that just wants to be talking about it? I mean, look at this Aglaonema Lotus Delight. Tell me that there is not another plant that has that beautiful pink coloration. Well, maybe right next to it is that Syngonium Strawberry Ice Galaxy. So Steven ended up getting one of these Syngonium Strawberry Ice Galaxy. I am just happy that one of my Cultivation Corner Plant podcast mates ended up buying from Reena's greenhouse, because even though she didn't have the biggest plant booth, sometimes it's not always the size of the booth, but the impact of the plants and the person behind the plants that really draws people in. And, you know, as far as Plantcon 2025 in Houston, I wish I was able to really feature a lot of the plant vendors. There was just so many to feature, and so I regret not being able to feature a lot of the plants. But you know what? There were a lot of content creators and people out there that were taking videos, and hopefully with our collective community of content creators, we're able to feature a lot of these vendors, because every single vendor at Plantcon Houston deserves to shine. I mean, look at this. Philodendron, Jopii mint. That is another unicorn plant. And then she also has some more rare and uncommon monsteras. But I did want to spin around here again. I'm just always happy to see my Ate Reena, Reena's greenhouse. Mark that on your Instagram pages, guys. Definitely support at Reena's greenhouse. Buy all her plants because look at this. Look at all of these plants that she has, and she had a lot of plants that were super cost effective, which is always a plus, right? Because we're always looking on ways to manage our finances. I will be quite honest, I ended up spending quite a bit of money on all of the plants that I ended up acquiring at Plantcon Houston, because, you know, Plantcon Houston has international vendors, and we'll get into that in a minute. But basically, you can always get these plants imported and just do a pickup at Plantcon versus having to have it shipped directly to your doorstep, which is always a plus. But I did go overboard with my plant haul. I know that you guys saw this. And then Grow Violet Nursery. This is another nursery that I regret not really going into detail on all of the plants, because this Houston-based nursery has a bunch of cool plants, like this variegated hibiscus that I would totally have bought. I was just very overwhelmed in a good way to see all of these plants. But you guys always know that whenever I go big box store plant shopping at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, I always talk about coleus plants, and they actually had an amazing coleus plant that was braided into a tree form. You can see right over there in that far left corner, but you can see that coleus plants are another plant that a lot of people overlook. Not a lot of people consider this as a house plant, but this is a plant you can grow indoors and can grow indoors long term. I mean, look at how beautiful the leaves are. I suppose everybody has their own different niche when it comes to plants, but I love the fact that this particular vendor had something a little bit more unique. And then let's talk about Cultivar. So Cultivar is a rare tropical plant shop. They used to have a brick and mortar shop in Houston. This is another Filipino-owned business, family business. And what I love about Cultivar, with Ate Marie and all of these folks, is that they have these plants. Every single one of these plants are grown in-house, propagated, and taken care of. So they've got a lot of beautiful Monstera albos. That is really what they were known for the longest time, but they've also expanded to different types of philodendrons, syngapses, syngoniums, Hoyas, and Anthuriums. I mean, you can't have a rare plant shop and not have an Anthurium, although I honestly wish Cultivar would carry some Aglaonemas. That's something that I'm going to give some feedback for. But if you want amazing, really good genetics in terms of monsteras, definitely get the Monstera albos from Cultivar. They do live selling, I believe, on Instagram. They do purges on their Facebook. Again, this is another Filipino-owned business, and Call me crazy or call me partial or biased, but yes, I do want to represent Philippines. It is always about trying to represent these, these people that you can really relate to. I mean, as far as the love for plants, the Filipino community, I didn't even realize there were a lot of plant content creators that were Filipino. I know Junie Plants was there. So shout out to Junie Plants. Thank you for raising our flag on the plant stage and just seeing all of these vendors. But Monstera albo, y'all, let's take a look at how gorgeous these Monstera albos are. And as far as cultivar, even though they don't have a brick and mortar shop, definitely check out their plant purges on their Facebook page. And if you want to try some amazing Filipino food or Filipino cuisine, go to Patis at Toyo, which is Patis and Toyo. It's their family-owned Filipino restaurant that is located out in Houston. But you can see right here, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the other plants that Cultivar has on sale at Plantcon 2025 in Houston, Texas. I'm hoping that they will also be at the Texas Aeroid show whenever that actually pops up, because I love supporting all the shows. I am always willing to travel and feature a lot of these shows. I regret that I'm not able to make some of the other shows, but with my current job, I work every other weekend, and if it's my weekend to work, it's very challenging to actually get time off. This Plantcon actually landed on my weekend to work, so I was very gracious that my boss was able to at least give me that Saturday, because I really don't want to miss Plantcon. Who wants to miss Plantcon, right? But anyways, let's continue to look at some of these plants here. You can see that they've got some variegated Monstera Adansonii at Cultivar and some really healthy plants, cost-effective plants. Please buy from Cultivar. So another vendor that I absolutely love would be DNM Secret Garden. This is run by May, and May's booth is actually super unique because it features the Teruno World Series Pothos. So these are a lot of the Japanese Pothos that are super uncommon, and you can even see that it still has the original Teruno Pothos signage. Like this one right here looks like a Manjula Pothos, but there's some uniqueness to it. This is called Epipremnum aureum status, and then this one right over here is Epipremnum aureum excellent. So it is more of a narrow leaf shape of a pearls and jade pothos. The story of the Teruno Pothos, it's really amazing because a lot of these plants are literally just genetic mutations of these pothos plants that have been propagated and stabilized to the point where they have enough numbers to actually create it into another cultivar. The thing about, a lot of these Teruno World Series pothos is they are still quite pricey because they're still very much so uncommon. I mean, you can see right here, Epipremnum aureum lime compacta. So it's a more small leaf shape of almost like a neon pothos. So a lot of the minute details of a particular pothos plant, you can really see that in the Japanese pothos, whether it's the texture or bumpiness of the leaves, the variegation, the coloration. I love it, and I just love the minute details and care that it's there. I eventually want to get all of the Teruno World Pothos. So in terms of, plants that I want to collect, obviously Aglaonema is going to be my number one plant that I want to collect, but I also want to collect pothos plants. Most people will attribute pothos plants as being a plant that's a little bit more common. The thing about it is, a plant that is common doesn't necessarily make it any less valuable than a plant that is rare. It is all about how the plant brings you joy, whether the plant is actually going to require you to really take care of it. I would say even the more rare or more sought after plants, there's a lot of care that's placed into it. So for your variegated alocasias, for instance, monsteras, etc., you're going to need humidifiers, a special type of lighting condition. So for these pothos plants, while people will say it's just a pothos plant, the Teruno World Series pothos, it is absolutely amazing. I love the fact that DNM Secret Garden is one of the most unique vendors that you will find at any plant show because they specialize specifically at Japanese pothos. There are other types of philodendron and Epipremnum pinnatum, for instance. So she does have a couple of these as well. And Steven was really impressed with me. So he was walking around. Steven is my co-host from the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast. If you guys don't know, please actually subscribe to his YouTube channel at I Live Plants. He also has some amazing content. And we were just talking about how these plants are just collector items, and hopefully more people will get into that. I just know that when it comes to plants, I really do gravitate toward easy care plants, plants that are not going to require you to put so much time to invest. I mean, for me, I really do look at it as I look at these rare and uncommon plants. How much time do you really have that you can invest into these plants? If you are fortunate to have enough time to really make sure that you are staying on top of the watering conditions, the pest control, making sure that you're using great substrates like Classy Rabbit soil. I'll go ahead and plug in Classy Rabbit soil again. If you're able to do that, then you are definitely one of the fortunate ones, because even though a lot of these plants are attractive and beautiful, just know that for every plant that you put into your home, that is another plant that is going to take up some time for you to grow. But as far as all of these Epipremnum Ariums or Pothos plants, I need this in my life. I definitely want to get this Punsin Manjula Pothos, and I also like the True Silver philodendrons that she has. I'll definitely have to send a direct message to May, and I'm just glad that she continues to make Taruno Pothos available for the US market, because that is a little bit challenging. Now, I will say, as far as pothos, they tend to be easy to propagate. So it is only a matter of time until these plants actually become a little bit more readily available. The thing about it is, Taruno Pothos, I know that May of DNM Secret Garden actually has the rights to be able to sell these patented pothos plants. So, these are not plants that you can just typically find at a big box store. Although I would say that the Taruno Pothos that have made it through Costa Farms would be the Champchilices Pothos, the what else do they have? They have the Shangri-La Pothos, and hopefully we'll see some more out there. But as far as, plants, she did also bring some caladiums. So caladiums are another alternative plant that is a house plant that you can actually make as an adaptable house plant. Typically people grow caladiums outdoors, but look at how beautiful that is. DNM Secret Garden. Follow DNM Secret Garden on Instagram so you can actually follow the journey of pothos plants. So we'll continue to just look at some of these and then move on to the next vendor. If you made it this far into the video and you have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, please do so. It definitely helps support this channel, but more so it helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And all I want is for everybody to see all of these vendors. And the next vendor is the Texas Plant Collection, which I believe is located out in Bryan, Texas. So they've got a bunch of amazing different types of aroids, variegated monstera, variegated philodendrons, like this philodendron caramel marble, which is actually not priced bad at all for a starter philodendron. So as far as cost effectiveness of some of these more rare and uncommon philodendron, Texas Connection actually has a lot to pick from. And that's the reason why, if you are debating on whether you're going to go to a Plantcon, please save your money, get yourself a plane ticket, get yourself a hotel. It is definitely worth it. If it's not just for the plants, it's definitely for the camaraderie and just the good vibes that you will get at Plantcon. I always tell people this: the positivity and the good vibes you present, it's going to welcome that same type of energy. And for all of the plant foldies, for all of you guys that have actually approached me, Steven and my friend Janae of Cultivation Corner, thank you guys again for really engaging and letting us know how much you appreciate our work. It is through the viewers that watch our content. It's what makes us really inspired to continue to make these videos. And for me, Plantcon holds a special place in my heart, because a lot of these vendors I've been able to get to meet and get to know over the past year and a half of covering Plantcon videos, and hopefully you guys appreciate my my long format Plantcon videos. I know that the trend is more short format content, more TikTok stuff, Instagram stuff, but I'm pretty much old school. You know, I'm an 80s baby. I was born in 82, so this year I'll be 43. But you know what? I love the fact that I can have a full-on dialogue with you guys to show you guys these plants. So let's enjoy all of these variegated plants from Texas Plant Connection. Never seen some variegated Aglaonema, take a look at this Aglaonema right here. This is another one that I want. This one's for $89.99. I can never have enough Aglaonemas, and you know, there are variegated Aglaonemas. Take a look at this one right here. It looks like more of like a variegated Maria. Beautiful plant. And I say again, if anything, if you haven't already caught on, I love Aglaonema. I have a campaign to use the hashtag popularize Aglaonema, so definitely get into that. And so the next vendor is Carnivo, which is an Austin-based nursery, and this is actually my brother Aton's good friend from college, Drew Martinez. He has some amazing carnivorous plants, but in addition to carnivorous plants, which is what he's really known for, he has a ton of amazing Anthuriums and different types of tropical plants. He has a nice tissue culture lab that I was able to visit and see for myself. And so in terms of Carnivo, please make sure you are following them on Instagram. Drew does a lot of Instagram sales, and he recently just opened up a storefront for Carnivo plants in Austin, Texas. I definitely want to connect with him. We talked about connecting and seeing his storefront. I want to visit Austin, Texas, because I love Austin, Texas. That's where I actually have a lot of memories. I've been able to really see that city. There's so many good things to do in Austin, Texas. So I may have to take a weekend trip there to feature Carnivo storefront. You know, in terms of just these local brick and mortar shops, these local nurseries. As much as I do big box store plant shopping videos, for the plant foldies that have followed my journey on YouTube, know that I also encourage everybody to support small businesses and local nurseries. I always say, don't limit yourself in just buying plants at, say, a big box store. It is okay to buy plants at a big box store. It does not mean that you're taking away business from all of these amazing local businesses, plant vendors, just because not everybody has the opportunity to, say, go to Plantcon and buy these plants. But I also say diversify your collection of plants by finding different diverse sources to buy plants. So for instance, Carnivo has some amazing carnivorous plants. They're cost effective. They've got a website, they've got a storefront, they do Instagram sales, they're able to ship. They've got more than just carnivorous plants, although I had a couple of friends buy some pitcher plants. So that is super exciting as well. But the next video, vendors I will show you are just going to come around, but you can see how busy it got at Plantcon 2025 in Houston, Texas. Huge turnout. And again, I did want to shout out Kenny and his team, the Plantcon staff. You guys were amazing. All of the vendors were definitely amazing, and also the volunteers. So if you did volunteer at Plantcon, thanks again.
Hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Love Plants.
And I am Richie from Grow Folds, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna share the video.
You have
what you're
to.
gonna
You
do.
have to. Today. All right, guys.
Today.
We'll see you on the next one. You want to know where I got a lot of my plants from? It came from Art Garden Flowers. Follow artgarden.flowers on Instagram. This is my friend Riki, who is actually an air cargo nursery out in Indonesia. And you can see all of these plants were flown in from Indonesia. They also offered me some ube pastry, which is a Filipino pastry. But you can see right here, Anthurium, variegated Anthuriums. Shout out to all of my friends that actually pre-ordered from Art Garden Flowers. I really need you guys to support Art Garden Flowers. He was one of the first international vendors to pop up at these plant shows in the United States. He does a lot of plant shows throughout the world, and he actually has a YouTube channel explaining the process of being able to get that. And you can see right here my good friend Plant Foldy Carla's Aglaonema haul. So I ended up plant influencing her to get the Kanza and the Lotus Delight from Reena's greenhouse. But Reena's greenhouse is always right next to Art Garden Flowers. I love Art Garden Flowers. You saw my plant haul from Art Garden Flowers. I'll still have some more plant haul videos from Plantcon throughout the week, so please check that out. But as you can see right here, these plants are actually flown in from Indonesia to their broker out in Florida. And then, you know, as far as these plants, if you're looking for Anthurium, if you're looking for variegated Anthurium, philodendron, rare types of Hoyas, and in my case, Riki was so kind enough to source out some Aglaonema from Amani Jungle. Also follow Amani Jungle on Instagram for that. Nanai's Happy Place. So this is the first time I've ever seen this vendor. Nanai's Happy Place is actually another, you guessed it, Filipino-owned business. This one right here is another vendor from out of state. Nanay means mother, so Mother's Happy Place. And you know, as far as Mother's Happy Place, this is another gorgeous vendor with lots of cost-effective plants. You could see that I had to feature Aglaonema. I mean, pretty much all of the Filipino-owned businesses talk about Aglaonema as one of their favorite plants. It's something about Aglaonema, these colorful leaves, these leaves that I feel like you guys may not be into, but I really need people to take a second look at these beautiful plants. I mean, these plants are low light tolerant and drought tolerant. They do prefer more bright indirect light, especially the more colorful varieties like this Aglaonema Fortune, which unfortunately I did not end up buying. You know, I was really needing to buy more Aglaonemas. You know, somebody asked me how many Aglaonemas I have. I definitely have more than 100 plus Aglaonema varieties, and it is growing by the millisecond. I mean, I'm always sourcing these Aglaonema from many different vendors. Nanai's Happy Place is another vendor that I was happy to have run into because they actually had some pretty cost-effective Aglaonema. You can take a look at this one right here, this Aglaonema Jolie, beautiful Aglaonema, another one that gets fairly large leaves. And you know, as far as these Aglaonema, at least for Nanai's Happy Place, I believe these are not fresh imports. These are plants that have actually been growing for quite a while in the United States, and only for $38. That is a really good plant price for these Aglaonema. My hope is, especially for those that have watched my video, and I'm hoping that you guys are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. I did want to call out for anybody that wants to put that negativity. If you're going to press the dislike button, why press the dislike button for this video when you can just silently not engage? So I just wanted to put that out there. And I would say Nanai's Happy Place had a person that wanted to actually model the Aglaonema. So, you know, it's always good to just talk to the vendors and just see the excitement of being part of a plant show. I hope that there are more plant shows available in the United States. I happen to be in the state of Texas, where there is a huge plant community, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I mean, you can see right here some more Aglaonemas. Please leave in the comment section if you are considering buying an Aglaonema, growing Aglaonema in your plant collection because of Plantcon. I'm hoping that more of you guys will get into it because as you guys know, I have a legitimate plant addiction. I am addicted to Aglaonema. It is somewhat of a problem, not a troublesome problem, but it is definitely a problem. And they always say with any type of addiction, you know, recognizing it is the first step to recovery. But I don't know if I really want want to recover from my Aglaonema plant addiction. Plantfoldies, leave in the comment section your thoughts about that, and let me know in the comment section what you think about some of the vendors I've featured. I hope you guys will take the time to leave some positive comments for the vendors, the plants, and hopefully you guys will join us for the big plant party out in Dallas, Texas for the Dallas Plantcon. I mean, I always am partial to my hometown. I wouldn't even say hometown, the place I live at, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I mean, you can see though for Nanai's Happy Place, they've got a variety of different types of plants, Syngoniums, Hoyas, philodendron, Aglaonemas, monsteras, like that Syngonium pink splash, Thai pink splash is beautiful, and even more Hoyas. You know, that's the thing about it is Hoyas, that's another big button plant that a lot of people like. And as I pass through Garden Flowers, again, I wanted to say thank you so much to Riki for getting a lot of my plants sourced. Thank you so much to Becca, who's based out in Houston, and then Cocoa and Palm Trees. So this is another amazing plant vendor that I wish I would have stayed to take more footage of, because they have so many beautiful variegated plants. So if you're into variegated plants, this is another vendor that I would recommend. Definitely follow Cocoa and Palm Trees on Instagram. Let them know you are a Plantfoldy. So I'm just going to walk around here and show you what beautiful variegated plants they have available at this booth. Some recommendations I would say if you're going to plan on going to a Plantcon is I would invest in early access tickets if you really want to enjoy the plant show, because there are quite a bit of people. It is worth the price for it. Now, this is Plantstop US, which is basically the broker that gets a lot of these plants from Indonesia, specifically Green Spaces ID and some other Indonesian nurseries. I did a huge plant pickup for some more plants from Indonesia. Thanks again to Green Spaces ID for working with me in terms of getting some of the plants pre-ordered and shipped to Houston to be able to do a pickup. So if you want some of the more cost-effective plants, definitely follow at greenspaces.id. You can check out their website, but you can send them a direct message on Instagram. They're able to send you actual photos of the plant that you're getting, but you can see right here, these are all plants from Indonesia. They've got so many different varieties of Anthuriums, monsteras, lots of amazing rare and uncommon Hoyas, and if you ask them, they will be able to source out some Aglaonema as well from Indonesia. But as you can see right here, these plants are import plants, and like I said, with import plants, these plants are not plants I would recommend just buying at Plantcon, then the next day potting them up in a soil substrate. These plants need to recover from being imported, so I would always recommend taking them out of sphagnum moss, rehydrating them, and letting these plants' roots just rehydrate for at least 24 to 72 hours and assess whether the plant should go into a soil substrate, or if you're going to need to just keep the roots in water. Frequent water changes as they rehydrate. And you can see this is one of my plant hauls from Green Spaces ID. They got me some jumbo plants, and you can see I have my little mask there that I wear whenever I'm on the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast. But I will feature some more of Plantstop US or Green Spaces ID plants. You can see there are so many different Hoyas. Green Spaces ID is another reputable international vendor. So as much as I like to promote Green Spaces ID, the reason being is they've always shown kindness to me, but more so they have a reputable history of being able to send plants all over the world illegally, because you don't ever want to get plants from overseas that do not follow, at least in the United States, the USDA regulations. So it's always great to go through Green Spaces ID because you don't necessarily have to have an import license, because you're not the one importing the plants. They're going through a broker, which is Plantstop US, which is based out in New Jersey. They take care of all of the paperwork, the phytosanitary certificate, and everything else. So that's what makes it easier. Now, if you are into importing plants, I would always say make sure you do your research in terms of your import license, all the regulations. But for me, even though I have my own import license, I would rather go through a nursery that goes through a broker. And so Plantstop.us is one of the ones that gets plants from Green Spaces ID. Now, for my Hoya heads, look at these rare and uncommon Hoyas. Unfortunately, I'm not as familiar with Hoyas, but what I can tell you is you can get some cost-effective rare or uber rare Hoyas from Green Spaces ID. So I'm gonna walk around here and show you what they have available. Just know I was able to source out quite a bit of plants from Green Spaces ID, as well as a new vendor called Leaf Crafter. So if you are not following Leaf Crafter on Instagram, definitely check it out. Thank you to my friend of Leaf Crafter who was able to utilize Plantstop.us to get some of the plants that I am picking up. I did do one plant haul video already. Definitely check that out, but I have a couple more plant haul videos because I got so many plants. Leave in the comment section, plant foldies, how many plants you think I got from Plantcon 2025 in Houston. I really want to know your guesses. Let's just say it's more than 20 plus plants. So definitely check that out, but you can see they've got a plethora of different types of Anthuriums and other plants. So let's take a look at what they have available here.
Hi, I'm Reena, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about some of the plants that I have available. As you can see, I have a lot of plants. Some of them are very rare, some of them are uncommon, and some of them are very uncommon.
And if you're looking for rare and uncommon Sansevieria, these ones are actually from a nursery called Succulents Asia. These ones you can follow on Instagram, Succulent Asia or Succulents Asia. They actually sent me some succulents a little while back. I did an unboxing video review, and these are beautiful Sansevieria, or what you call snake plants. I mean, look at all of that. This is definitely not your typical snake plant you will find at a big box store. And so if you want something as unique like this, you can buy from Succulents Asia, which actually sends plants through Plantstop US, the official broker. And I mean, look at this. Look at these beautiful variegated whale fins. Beautiful, and they're not that bad price off, and these plants will actually easily acclimate. I will say with the Sansevieria, I haven't had any issues being able to acclimate them from overseas. So if you are interested or curious about the acclimation process, I do have a lot of YouTube video playlists. Feel free to go check that out. I have them separated, and I haven't talked about this, but hopefully you guys will also consider joining my YouTube membership tier for only $2.99. I call it the Super Plant Foldy tier, where I will do my personal blogs, show you some of my personal plant collection, and just have more exclusive content. It definitely helps the sustainability of my YouTube channel out, and you know, full transparency, it is just another way for some passive income. I am hustling because you know, these plants don't come cheap. So if you guys want to join my YouTube membership tier, it's literally like a cup of coffee or a bag of potato chips, $2.99. Please click the link, the direct link in the comment section that is pinned, or if you're watching my YouTube video on a computer, just hit the join button. I'd love for you guys to become a Super Plant Foldy. It would definitely help me out as well. But as you can see right here, again, Green Spaces ID plants, all of these plants are from Indonesia, and I am just really thankful that I've been able to meet a lot of these overseas plant vendors. Look at this gorgeous Anthurium here. They even have a lot of variegated Anthuriums that they can actually sell. So definitely follow greenspaces.id, check out Succulents Asia, and definitely check out my friend Leaf Crafter on Instagram. Follow him, let him know you are a plant foldy, and let's continue to just walk around and see what other plants we have available at Plantcon. You can see whenever you go to Plantcon, there's just so many people. I will say again, if you're able to afford the early access tickets, I would highly recommend that if you don't really want to be around large crowds, because the general admission, which let people in at 10 a.m., the lines were super long, but they were moving fairly quickly. But again, you still have quite a bit of people. So for me, really happy that I was able to be one of the helpers for Peta's Planters booth. So I was able to get access to going in there super early, even earlier than the early access, to get some of that content. But it is definitely worth it. You know, Plantcon is continuing to grow, and I'm hoping that more plant cons pop up throughout the country so more people can make it to this wonderful show. We can see more vendors, but you can see right here in terms of the plants that were definitely trending, it's definitely Anthuriums. I would say Anthuriums are the king of all of the plants. Monsteras and other rare variegated philodendrons, that's really what it was, as well as Hoyas. You've got your Syngoniums, your Syndapsis, your Pothos plants, but I would even say the most underrated plant was the Aglaonema. But as far as that, I feel like more of us talking about Aglaonemas will really get people excited, but I can also understand why Anthuriums are a thing. I mean, look at how gorgeous these Anthuriums are. So I'm just gonna walk around and showcase some of the vendors. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go do a deep dive of some of the plants for the vendors. I'm hoping next time Houston Plantcon comes around, it doesn't fall on the weekend I have to work, and I can have 2 days to film hours and hours of footage. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this, and hopefully I am able to represent and show you all of these vendors to the point where you guys will be able to support them. But as you can see right here, so many different people that you will see. You can see that this one right here was Hive's plants. This one actually had so many rare and uncommon plants at a cost-effective plant price, which we all want, right? We always want to get cost-effective plant pricing. That's really the name of the game. And so I'm just going to walk around here. Hive's Plants is also another local plant nursery out in Houston, Texas. So lots of Houston nurseries that were out for Houston Plantcon, but there were also a lot of Dallas-Fort Worth vendors. So it's just interesting how all of these vendors kind of congregate into an amazing plant show such as Plantcon 2025 in Houston, Texas. when you talk about a tourist attraction plant, the Monstera Devil Monster, which was retailing for 17,000 US dollars, made it into this plant show, and actually somebody ended up buying it. This is one of those unicorn plants. I would say that this is a plant I may not acquire for a couple of years because it is such a pricey plant. And this particular vendor here had a lot of rare plants that when you pick up were like $1,000, $2,000. It was super rare. So when you talk about the rarest of the rares, this particular vendor had some beautiful plants. I would say tourist attraction plants. Definitely the Monstera Devil Monster. I was able to first time see this from Mike's nursery out at Plantcon Orlando, but we see that the Monstera Devil Monster made it to Houston. Are we going to see this in Dallas Plantcon? Are we going to see this in New York City Plantcon? That remains to be seen. But what I will say with this particular vendor, amazing variegated, super rare plants. The price was quite high, but you know, if you are truly a plant collector, this particular vendor here had some unicorn plants, and you know, these are plants that you can only dream to own. I mean, there were some plants that were not super expensive, but at the end of the day, it is really the price you are willing to pay, especially if you are willing to collect some of these plants. I mean, you can see right here some more Anthuriums. Everywhere you turn, you found an Anthurium, and I think a lot of vendors understand the plant market in terms of the plant collectors, that Anthuriums are king, and I can understand that, but I haven't gotten into Anthuriums quite yet. I have a couple. I have a Doc Block Michelle Anthurium that I got at a Home Depot. So that's a start of it. And I have a couple of Anthuriums that I ended up acquiring from Green Spaces ID. But as you can see right here, lots of unicorn plants, lots of variegated alocaceas. That's the thing. If you want to just see some of the plants that you only see on social media, on Instagram, go to Plantcon, go to a plant show. You will definitely see this. And so I'm just going to walk around here and feature these gorgeous plants again. only I could afford those plants, I would have definitely considered buying it. Now we're gonna go to Classy Rabbit, the Classy Rabbit booth. So again, guys, Classy Rabbit was one of the sponsors for Plantcon 2025 in Houston. They also sponsored Plantcon in Orlando. So thank you, Classy Rabbit, for being a sponsor and just really supporting Plantcon. You can see, if you guys are curious about what the Classy Rabbit soil looks like, it's super chunky, super fast draining. It is one of the best soils I've ever used. I cannot get enough of it. And you know, Nate knows this. I'm just glad that they actually had samples of some of their other products. Again, as far as Classy Rabbit soil, please make sure you guys are checking out the website, classyrabbit.com. Put it in order. Definitely check it out. And there is a promo code. Use a promo code GROWFOLDS to get a bag of Classy Rabbit soil plus a free bag of soil conditioner whenever you do the checkout on classyrabbit.com for the bag of Classy Rabbit soil. Also add the soil bag of the bag of soil conditioner is what I meant, and use the promo code GROWFOLD and you will get that soil conditioner bag for free. I have been heavily promoting Classy Rabbit soil. I'm not necessarily sponsored by them officially. It's just that whenever I find a product that really works or I really believe in, it's something that I really want to share with our viewers and subscribers. So definitely check that out.
We meeting some super Plantfoldies here. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Roddy B.
Yes, he just became a super Plantfoldy. We are at Peta's, and look at his plant haul right over here. You got this for how much? You got it for a good price. $40. And he has been plant influenced, popularized Aglaonema, and look, he's about to go poop on his plants with the Classy Rabbit soil. Y'all got any messages for the Plantfoldies that are watching?
You guys are missing out on the Houston Plantcon. If you're not here, you better be here tomorrow.
Yes. Thank y'all.
And huge shout out to all of the Plantfoldies that I met. Again, the ones that didn't even make it on the video, but just had an amazing conversation about plants. Thank you for taking the time again to just let me know how I'm doing with the Plantfoldy community, my content, and your just appreciation for the videos that I put out. Like I said, again, it is all about the community we have at the Plantfoldy community on the GrowFolds channel. And you can see this is my plant haul Plantfoldies, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed seeing a detailed look of Plantcon 2025 in Houston. That is my friend Carla. Janae is with me, and as you can see right here, I am walking away with a whole wagon full of plants, so stay tuned for that. As always, my name is Richie at GrowFolds. I hope you enjoyed my Plantcon video today. I'll see you on the next one.